quite a while and it was rotting, and that piqued my interest. So instead of coffee, I went back to the US and talked to a few of the chocolate makers, and they were quite interested in a Fiji origin cacao bean. So as part of my preparation for understanding the market, I really dived deep in and actually took a class in chocolate making. So those are things I engage myself in understanding the market. So understanding of the market is very important, what your end buyer is looking for. And that actually helped me be quite successful in marketing cocoa beans from Fiji to over 50 craft chocolate makers worldwide. And the number is growing. So as the gentleman had explained, my name is Arif. I'm originally from Ba. Went to Xavier College and actually had the opportunity of getting a scholarship to study in Malaysia. Coming back, I taught for a year in Suva, and then I was in the US until there was a financial crisis in the market. And so with the downturn, I decided to pursue my master's degree. I actually specialize in real estate. But my passion right now is cacao and growing this business because at the height of the market in 1987, we exported approximately 468 metric tons. And there were 3,000 hectares of land under cocoa farming. Some of them were big projects spearheaded by the Ministry of Agriculture, and some of them were smallholder farmers. There were almost 3,000 smallholder farmers. So we are looking to revive that cocoa. You know, if you look at the Fijian flag, you have the sugarcane, the dove, the coconut palm, and there's cocoa over there, right? So when the British introduced it in the late 18th century, there was high hopes of cocoa. And I think along the way with the decline of the market and not focusing on a niche market, we decided to abandon cocoa farming. But the trees are there, the land is there, and as a start, we are looking for at least 1,000 farmers. And I will describe to you how we have developed this business where our immediate market demand is 50 metric tons, and our midterm is about 100 metric tons. So these are actually orders which have already been placed, but we are facing supply challenges. So just wanted to share a photo about who my inspiration is. Everybody has some inspiration in life. This is my dad. He actually passed away when I was 10 years old, but I was always in awe of him. He was what they call in those days a taxi proprietor. And he owned a business. So I said, man, one day I want to own my own business. So those are the things which shaped my life, not only the hardship of losing a father when you were 10, but you know, also the inspiration of him being in business. Being in business is not easy. You know, you wake up and you fend for yourself just like a bird going out there and gathering their food. So you need to be motivated, you need to have the initiative, you are taking the risk. As a matter of fact, don't know about the statistics over here, but in US, 50% of the GDP and the backbone of the US economy is small businesses. And I think this Entrepreneurship Week is a beautiful thing whereby, you know, people will take hold of their lives, they can shape their lives. We have the land, the resources, you need the creativity, and I'll share some of my experiences of what I did to be able to export. We are an export-based company, you know, how you can use technology and social media to find new markets for yourself. So I'll share a few characteristics of entrepreneur. That's me in San Francisco as a real estate broker. That's around 2012 before I came back to Fiji. Number one is self-motivation, you know. You're gonna be challenged, but you know, you need to wake up and lead the way. This is in 2014. You see gathered a pack of people, and we are actually walking towards our Threatre, Matasawa Levu Threatre Cocoa project. So you can see me on the right side. I'm part of the team, you know, leading them. And the guy on the left, you know, he has over maybe 30 years of cocoa experience, and he's still with us today because, you know, part of entrepreneurship is you need to believe in yourself, you need to be passionate. When you engage yourself in a project, you believe in it, that you know you could do it. And for us, this is a market-driven revival, you know. People say they have a hard time finding markets. We have a hard time fulfilling the supply based on what we have done. So, you know, I described to you earlier on, before I got into the cocoa business, I actually went and talked to different buyers, different chocolate makers, and you really have to understand what you offer. And you also have to understand what their criteria is. So these chocolate makers are very, very fussy. You know, they know about the product. They know about things. You know, if you know about cocoa, you need to ferment it. And fermentation is a process where you remove the acidity and the bitterness. And, you know, the beans have to reach a certain stage. Once the acidity and the bitterness is removed, then you're going into a drying process. Your moisture level has to be around 6%. During fermentation, your beans, fermentation is a natural process. It needs to rise at around 45 degrees Celsius to be able to kill this germination. So there's a lot of intricacies in preparing a cocoa bean for craft chocolate makers. And because the craft chocolate makers know what they want. And in order to open markets, you have to be ready to at least send a 1 kg sample, you know, and that's going to be free. If you find yourself that shipping from Fiji is expensive, you know, genuine buyers will actually help you pay for your shipping costs. So how we open market is we send a kg of beans, they make their chocolate, they do their profiling, and they say, okay, no, your bean is not good, you got to change it, you got to change your fermentation. So those are things we learned along the way, right? And we changed it. This was way back in 2014. Today we don't have those issues, you see. Over time we have learned to master what's called a process of processing the bean, fermentation, and drying. So that photo over there is me in 2015. 1 year after being in the business, we had shipped, participated in the International Cocoa Awards. That's held every 2 years in France. And through trial and error and getting feedback from our consultants and our buyers, we were able to get our beans to our stage where it was recognized as top 50 beans in the world. Now, that's quite an achievement. To really feel this, I actually went to France, you know, tried to gather up some money and went out there and felt that there's a lot we can offer as far as the cocoa business. So what I'm using for my case study over here could be applicable to any other product. If you're doing kava, if you're doing coffee, but these are lessons you could apply to your own business. So immediately after receiving this award, we had some very, very big buyers from France who wanted at least 24 metric tons. A buyer from New Zealand, another 12 metric tons. Another buyer from San Francisco who wanted 12 metric tons. Well, you have it there, that's immediate 50 metric tons, you know. So we have some challenges as far as people working with us. I don't want to name any departments, but I think you need to be in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, with the Ministry of Trade, and they need to recognize the impact of our business. See, our business is in areas of high unemployment and high poverty. So the socio-economic impact of this is very great. Imagine if we had 10,000 farmers who are doing cocoa farming. Because land is there. I've seen it all. I've toured all around. And, you know, it's in Rambi and all these things. Logistically, it's not feasible for us. But unless and until we join hands and we want to improve the lives of people in these rural areas, this is an opportunity. Along with sugar, we can also have cocoa shining again as it is in the flag. Because I'm talking from the market's perspective. This is what the market is demanding. So you want to take calculated risk. I'm just giving you things I study as far as the world cocoa prices. So right now it's around 3,000 US dollars, okay? So of course when we deal with farmers, you know, there's shipping costs and there's warehouse costs. We have warehousing in San Francisco. All those factors need to take into consideration. But when we're dealing with your buyers, for example, if you're a kava buyer, you need to know what is the going price in the US. I like the US market because the currency is strong, you know. And they don't give us a lot of headaches as far as the FDA is concerned, pertaining to whether it's cocoa, dry beans, or coffee beans, or even kava. So if you're in business, you really need to know how to network, you know. So in the early stages, you see this lady over here from the Oakland Chocolate Company. I decided that when I wanted to do cocoa farming and be engaged in the chocolate business, I read all the books about chocolate. I watched all the movies about chocolate making. I went to talk to all the people about chocolate, you know. And, you know, actually the world is nice out there, you know. People would want to talk to you. And you will get ideas to how you can open up markets. So fortunately, the craft chocolate revolution is unfolding. In the United States, we have over 250 craft chocolate makers. I'm not talking about the big chocolate makers like Guitard. And it's a great community. They all like to help each other. And they love the Fiji origin chocolate. So basic money management skills is very important as a businessman. You know, you can keep on looking at the big picture and somebody else is taking care of the financing, and then next thing you know, you got nothing in the bank. So you want to have at least a weekly report, you know, of your cash flow to see where you're heading, you see. This is me working with some farmers in Dama, whereby we're actually going to have meetings over there and just giving them some payments for their the cocoa we had bought. So flexibility is also important. You know, when you get client feedbacks, you should be willing to change. You think you could be doing something right, but all of a sudden, you know, you get a rude awakening. Hey! So you gotta align yourself, you know. In business, the only thing constant is change. This is in 2014, starting with this crew. We took over an abundant farm in Dreketi, Vanuatu. A lot of risk. People thought I was crazy coming back and spearheading this and reviving the cocoa business because nobody was doing that, you know. But I knew that there was a opportunity, there was a market, because I had already talked to my buyers. So in business, it's unless you have a lot of capital, maybe like the Kava guy, Zane, you know, majority of us will be starting small. And that's important, you know, because you could do a little trial and error, what they call smart errors. If you made a mistake and you took your market to the, you took your products to the market and you got good insight and good feedback, you can always come back and tweak it and have it ready for the masses. So this is ladies who work for me, and I'll be talking about another value adding we have done since we started cocoa farming. It's called Vanua Chocolate, and we actually started manufacturing chocolate, very artisan craft chocolate making about a year ago. And you see over here on the right side, this is the Vunda market. If you ever go to the Vuna market once a month, excellent platform to start testing your product. We give free samples. People try the sample. We specialize in dark chocolate, and they buy it, you know. They say, we never knew that Fiji had chocolate makers. So that's one product, chocolate making. And we have actually diversified into different flavors. So 60% cacao means 60% content of cocoa in your chocolate, right? The Cadbury you eat has only 20 to 25% of cocoa. So cocoa, why cocoa? Cocoa is very healthy. There's a very high level of antioxidant. So it's good for your blood pressure, your heart disease, your cholesterol. You know, if you eat chocolate, it actually makes you very happy. It's a mood changer. For all of you, I have an offer. If you're ever in Nandi, please stop by. We have an artisan craft chocolate factory and a cafe as well. You're more than welcome to stop by and have a free sample. Unfortunately, it melts, so I couldn't carry it with me today. So also, you see we have started, there's a byproduct called cocoa nibs. You see these bags over there? Those are actually cocoa nibs. So after you take the cocoa beans, you roast it, and there's a process called winnowing where you separate the husk from the nibs. The nibs is actually used for chocolate making. You grind it, right, for 2 days and you add sugar. But we also sell it as a product where people use it for their baking. We also have a drink called cacao nib smoothie in our cafe. It's a bestseller. And even the husk, we sell it as tea. So it's really soothing. So as I said, starting small is very important. I know most of you start small. This valuable feedback can help you improve your products. So this is our gang at the Matasawa level cocoa project in Vanuatu. See, we have more ladies than men. So impact business. You know, in Fiji, I think there's an opportunity for us to do businesses which will have a social impact, but also help you make a profit, you know. And I feel like cocoa is one of them. Also coffee, there's wild coffee growing all over Fiji. This is an opportunity. I think Bula Coffee has seized it, but this is another opportunity for somebody to grab up. So like I said, most of our cocoa farmers and farms all over Fiji is in areas of high poverty and high unemployment. And we are proud to be a source of income, not only as employment, but working with some 500 farmers in Fiji in those areas. So this is me with the farmer in Savu buying his beans. Apparently he's got very good cocoa, world-class cocoa as well. But he's been doing it for a long time and he's very passionate about it, you see. So for us, we find that there's a lot of cocoa farmers over there and their fathers were cocoa farmers and their grandfathers and now their children who are coming and selling beans to us, especially during school holidays and earning cash. And can you imagine how that is shaping their lives to probably be future cocoa farmers, right? Yeah. So, you know, passion is very important, man. You need to do something you like doing, you know? Because you'll wake up in the morning and it's not like you'll be dragging yourself out of bed. You know, it's going to be a tip start, right? You'll just get going, and that's how I have been for the last 25 years of being a business person. So I'd like to share maybe my 4 Ps, which has been very important in business, and I've applied it to all my businesses. Although this presentation is about cocoa farming, I have other interests as well. So when I came to Fiji, I presented to the Minister of Agriculture, and he loved the idea, and I was fortunate that Ministry of Agriculture gave me a tour of different cocoa farms. But I ended up in Threatre, Vanuatu. I'd never been to Threatre before, so this was my first time. And the reason I really liked that area is they had the product. You know, I took a sample of the product and made some fermentation and tried chocolate, and I said, whoa, we got something special over here, you know. So I like the fact that I think at that time we had a world-class product, and true to that, we have we got the top 50 placement in France. We have endless demand for these cocoa beans. What you see is over here is actually a different varietal. This is called the Threatre. So after researching, this is considered the fine cocoa bean, which is most sought after in the world, and fine cocoa beans actually make fine chocolate. So one thing we got to remember in Fiji, we cannot compete with the mass market, you know. So I'm not going to try to compete with Ghana and all these countries. They can lower their price. I'm going to supply you premium cacao beans for premium or fine chocolate at a premium price. And that's how you stay feasible, and that's how you counter things like maybe high shipping costs. Sometimes we, you know, when come to seminars, everybody's complaining about shipping costs. You know, if you have the product, you can pass the shipping costs to your client, and they are more than willing to do that. And that's what we do. We charge a premium price, and they pay for the shipping cost. So the product is very important. And that's our little processing in, I wouldn't say little processing, we could actually do 100 metric tons with this. On the right side, you see the sloping tin is actually a fermentation area where we can load 4 tons at a time and ferment it. Fermentation is a process where, you know, we kill the germination, remove the acidity, give the flavor profile to the chocolate. It's about a 6 to 7 day process. After that, you see you have the dryer over there with the trays. So it's got trays in front. So cocoa farming is areas of high rainfall. So every now and then you got to run and push those trays back. So they got rollers in there at the bottom, you know, a little innovation. And so those are your cocoa beans. Did you know where your chocolate came from? That's where it comes from, those cocoa beans. So what I liked about Vanuatu Threatre is I found people. You see, I talked about Edwin Hughes. He had over 30 years of experience. So I am coming from a real estate background. I'm no expert in cocoa. So what I did is grab people who knew about the process. So the process, understanding the process is very important. The price is also important. Of course, like I said, we want to charge a little premium price, you know, value adding and into a fine. We can do that because, you know, I'd say that Fiji Water has carved out a name for Fiji products. So if you're trying to export to the US market, there's other innovators like Pure Fiji I'll talk about. Where you see this lady is a chocolate journalist and she talks about chocolate all the time. If you read at the bottom, what does she dream about? Fiji. So that's amazing. And this has gone global. Yeah. So all over the United States, from France to Canada, our beans have been shipped and in much demand. So there you go. This guy is actually used the Becca, and I've met him, very innovative, and he's got the bet, and he's actually won awards for his dark chocolate, and this is, I think it's about 80%. And he's actually won awards, international cocoa awards for drinking chocolate as well, made of our beans. Yeah. So this is an area, the promotion area, which I feel is the biggest challenge for small businesses, you know. They need help in designing this. And, you know, I want to make a proposal to Ministry of Trade that if they could allocate a small department of 1 or 2 people who work on graphics. Because this is the area I feel like, you know, people have products and they want to take it to US and it's not ready, it's not packaged properly. So this is a plea to the Ministry of Trade I'm happy to talk to the minister as well. If we could help, if you're all small business owners, right, and if you had some help in designing and marketing, I think you could do wonders. So in your business, I'd say that we started by solving a problem. Remember I said that I came across reki and those cocoa beans were rotting. So those farmers were looking for a market, and I wanted to find them that market, you know, and I think we have found that market. We just need to collaborate with some government stakeholders and take it to the next level. I already talked about social impact. This is our farm in Vanuatu. There's a bulk on the right side, the fermentation and the drying. So we are in 2 islands. We are in Vanuatu, and I realized that we had a lot of cocoa from Reki all the way to Talevu. So about 3 years ago, we set up just a processing center. And farmers are bringing cocoa beans every Friday, and they're happy taking a few $100s. How is it changing their lives, huh? So I talked about the Fiji brand. So how I was able to market Cacao Fiji is riding along the Fiji brand. That's the one thing we can do. You know, some businesses have opened the doors, but when you think about Fiji, it conjures images of pristine and organic products. If you can make your products organic, you have a special niche market and also premium pricing. No herbicide, no fertilizers, no synthetic fertilizers. So there are alternatives. I think the Ministry of Trade is making a push for organic Fiji, and I think that's a wonderful thing. That is a long time coming. That should have been done maybe 10 years ago. So Fiji water, you know, coincidentally I go to Reki, all I see is truckloads of Fiji water, man. I said, damn, they have opened up some market. Pure Fiji is another great case study. Very innovative, you know, you should follow their social media, their Instagram, and these guys have really penetrated the market. Oh, I talked about Fijian organics. So you can inquire with the Ministry of Trade on how their rollout is going with certification for Fijian organic. So this is an organic pink Fijian ginger from Laucala. David Gilmour is the founder of Fiji Water. He sold that business for maybe hundreds of millions and delved into producing this health segment product, right? But you see that packaging. It's amazing. And of course, he's well connected, so he uses Oprah Winfrey to push his product. So we have our own celebrities, Jerry Tuai. So you see, marketing and packaging is very vital. This ginger could be in your backyard. Well, his story is different, huh? And his packaging is different. I think this is the biggest challenge we are facing in Fiji. Yeah. And maybe USP could take that into consideration as well, into helping, we're coming up with some streamlined programs of designing and marketing. And that could be wonderful in promoting these Fijian businesses. So marketing the origin. Like I said, we always talked about marketing the Fiji origin. This is a wonderful release of chocolate bar, a very renowned chocolate maker. His name is Dick Taylor, and he did this marketing piece, and the chocolate sold out within a week. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? Well, it's just coconut palm at the back. That's how you position your photos. So this is what he said. See, this is the feedback I got, and I was in awe of this. I said, this is worth my effort and time. With 1% or less of the cacao grown worldwide, considered fine and flavor grade, the probability of coming across something exceptional is very rare. We look at the lots of samples, and most don't make the cut. The cacao in this bar is a standout above the rest. From the deep South Pacific country of Fiji comes a very subtle and delicate cacao that we are featuring as a limited release. It's an amazing feedback, isn't it? Yeah. So your product could be like this too. Because the soil has a special flavor. Those who drink wine, they know about terroir. Same thing with kava, and same thing with cacao. Savu-savu kava tastes different from Dharma kava. They're all good though. Wainunu kava. So you see, he's in marketing piece, he was telling a story, you know. So how did we capture all these buyers? So early on, we started a social media campaign. You got to be in Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, the bare minimum. And there's, you have softwares where you could make one post and you could go in all three. So you want to talk daily about something you're doing. You know, Pure Fiji does it well. And we started talking, and next thing you know, the people started coming across and says, you know, we want a 1 kg sample. The 1 kg sample led to a 1 ton order. And this is ongoing. I've got customers from France who have been ordering since 2014. So in your story, you want to feature people. It makes a connection. Those are cocoa girls. They help us in the quality control. Your facilities must be of standard, because your clients will be visiting to see what you are doing, you know. This is one of our big buyers from a Dutch cocoa company. We still have a relationship. I keep on shipping him beans. This is one of the things, actually, I'm a graduate of Leadership Fiji in 2017, and every year they come and tour our farm and our factory, just to get an understanding of opportunities, the vast opportunities we have in Fiji. So our quality control is meticulous, is actually hand chosen. We take out, we never try to give them any small beans or bunch of beans. It's just not worth it. If you want to compete in the international market and you want to charge a premium, give them the best. You know, don't shortchange them. And you know, in the early stages, we had some issues. We quickly made some corrections where during shipping, actually, what happens is that there's moisture been observed in the cocoa beans, and we overcame that. So since that, thank God, there hasn't been any complaint. There's a chocolate. If you're ever in Nandi, you're welcome to stop by. So that's one of the plastics we use to insulate it from or against moisture. You got to meet the FDA requirements. The least is you want to talk about what product it is, the weight, and weight in pounds, as well as the fact that it's from the Fiji Islands. International Cocoa Awards, in your business you would have awards as well. Very important to enter it, because instantly you get recognition, and that actually helps you build market. So as I talked to you earlier on, we had a top 50 bean, and that really opened up market. So even we had submitted our beans to the International Cocoa Awards. Our clients actually submitted beans to the International Chocolate Awards from the chocolate they made. And for the last 3-4 years, they've been winning constantly awards. And that's just instant marketing gratification for you. So they won a silver in the International Cocoa Awards, Soma chocolate maker, Vanua milk chocolate, 55%, they're from Canada. This actually won a gold medal in 2018. Ocho chocolate, 75%. That's amazing. From all the different chocolates supplied to New Zealand, this is a chocolate which won the gold medal. So that's a testament to quality. 70% Fiji. Real colorful bar, Wellington chocolate. They actually had a competition where the winner who bought the chocolate bar, the winner gets a free trip to Fiji, so we are promoting Fiji as well. They'll tour our cocoa farms and learn about the cocoa processing, etc. Real nice packaging, very colorful. So I'll share some of my clients. I said there's over 50, not all of them. Indie chocolate, Fiji origin. Vanua Levu Fiji, Serene chocolate, really respected guy from Canada. A Dream of Chocolate from USA, Fiji microbed, 78%. Nuanced chocolate, single origin. So, you know, these are buzzwords you should catch today is origin. You need to market your origin, the Fiji origin. 70% pure dark, pure. Dark chocolate, 70%. Banyan chocolate, 70% cacao from Fiji, Madhawata province, promoting Madhawata as well. So this is the local chocolate we started making about 2 years ago. After a lot of trial and errors, we actually got it really moving now. This is since I started in Vanuatu, and we've met so many farmers who are still tied to their land and they haven't cut the cocoa. We decided to dedicate this chocolate to the name Vanua. And this is our first release, the 60% Reki cacao. So we are promoting this locally for the tourist market and the Fijian diaspora. And you know, if you are leaving, you can take a gift at all the duty-free stores, Prouds, Jacks, and what was the other one, Tapus. And it's been going well. And so there's a lot of interest now from New Zealand to export these cocoa beans. We've got an order of 100 chocolate bars. I'm sure that would lead to 1,000 chocolate bars, right? Again, your marketing and promotion, you see, social media, talk about your product every day. Say something, you know. So see, we just started off with those two flavors, 60% Reki and Draketi. They're from 2 different islands, 2 different origins, 2 different flavors. Don't lie if your kava is not from Savu Savu. Tell them it's from Wainunu. People would love Wainunu, you see. That's the thing. You got to be honest. Once they find out that you're lying, you lose a lot of market. But you see how we went to 70% because our client says we want higher percentage of cocoa. So 70%. There's your Savu Savu flavor, 60% in the green, 70% Reki. Then we started adding sea salt, really delicious. Sea salt and cocoa, very healthy. 60% chili. And then the last one is actually kava. It's a favorite seller with the little kids. How do we know that? It's because we take it to the Wunda market. And that's our packaging. Now we are ready to package our cocoa nibs to Amazon. So, you know, there's an organization called Pacific Trade. They could help you open markets, and they have marketing classes as well. So we were looking at expanding into Australia, but due to some technicalities, we found out that it's easier to go to US. So this cocoa nibs is prepared for the US. Amazon is a very big market, you know. It's an online platform. If you get your product to Amazon and you meet the requirements, you have endless market. Remember I was telling you about the cacao nib smoothie? So we put cacao and make a smoothie out of it. It's actually one of our best sellers. And just for Valentine's Day, we had this special release. If you happen to come across Fiji Sun, this was featured over there. It was a full-page Valentine's. And so it will be soon at Jack's. This is called bonbons. Bonbons are miniature chocolate. So you see the journey of starting with cocoa beans and then coming and value adding, starting with 2 chocolate bars and going to Wunda market and talking and listening to your customers, and they say, I want 60%, I want kava. Some say, I want chili. We also have ginger. So we listen to our customers, you know, and we keep on adding. So we could also do, there's a lot of people asking for cocoa powder. We could have our own local supply of cocoa powder. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khan. Are there any questions for Mr. Khan? Just before you go. Friends, anybody would like to ask a question to Mr. Khan? Come on, he's come all the way from the West. And obviously, you know, we need to ask him some questions. This is a very, very wonderful presentation that has provided for us. Yes, that lady at the back there?
Very good question. You need to be in a mid-zone climate where there's intermittent rain, at least 1,000 millimeters per year. So where are you from? Yeah. It would grow in Rewa, but if there's too much rainfall, that's an issue as well, eh? Because what happens is the cocoa pods start getting black. And that's one of the disease. But you work with the Ministry of Agriculture, they'll come and test your soil and they'll let you know. But yeah, there's enough rainfall for cocoa farming. It can't be in a dry area, you know. But we are looking for 1,000 farmers.
Mr. Khan, I'm just interested in, you know, like we have people here who are thinking of actually starting a business, eh? In terms of finance and capital, would you just like to just inform the audience how you actually, you know, probably started with actually financing of your project?
So I started with crowdfunding, you know. You talk to your families and friends and tell them a good story about this great product, and they can lend you money. And you can even write a note that you'll pay them back. Or they can become shareholders in your company. But make sure you keep 51% of it, eh? Otherwise they'll cause too much trouble. But crowdfunding is very important. You know, in the US there's platforms like Kiva. You should write down Kiva, K-I-V-A. And, you know, before coming to Fiji, I worked with the Fiji Council Social Services. I said, if you can go and create a website and vet a small business project and put it on Kiva, people from all around the world will crowdfund that project, man. And actually help them get a website, but there wasn't no follow-ups. So guys, I want to tell you that the world is small because we are very connected. Go to Kiva and, you know, put pressure in Fiji Council of Social Services or Small Business Association, Fiji Microfinance Business. They don't need to give money. The whole world is ready to give money. Create a project and put me on that. I'll make sure it happens. But, you know, I can't. I'm busy too, you know. I travel all around. But there's financing is available. If you're in the north, also I've borrowed from FDB. So Fiji government has a nice look north policy where you can get financing for 2.5%. Isn't that amazing? 2.5%, man. You go to merchant finance, they're going to kill you. 19%, if not 15%. So don't take those loans because immediately your creative juices will stop. You are the big thinker, right? You need to strategize and come up with plans. And if merchant finance is calling you all the time, you're just worried about paying them. You're not going to be able to develop your market, you know? Yeah, so there's other alternatives of financing before you go to the bank. If you go to the bank, you need to go to FDB, and FDB just needs a business plan. So I'm sure you have avenues for the business plan. But believe me, I just started with $5,000 US, this whole project. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. I need to ask another question.
I'm Humphrey Cheng. I run the Chamber of SMEs. Well, Fiji seems to be having some problem in that there's not enough chocolate being sold in Fiji as it should have been. Now, hearing from what you're saying, there's no reason why Fiji products cannot be sold more in Fiji than overseas. But what you're saying there is you are exporting. And a lot of people who goes overseas for holiday and come back to Fiji bring back chocolate. And those chocolates are maybe not made in Fiji, elsewhere, but why should they go and buy chocolate from overseas to bring it back to Fiji when Fiji should be able to supply its own? That's one question.
Okay, let me answer that. I know, Humphrey, you have long questions. Okay, you got to understand that we have two segments of this business. One is the cocoa bean, which we came, and that's a commodity market. We are exporting cocoa beans to chocolate makers. Not to confuse with my second half of the presentation, where about 2 years ago we started making chocolate. Yeah. So the whole thing, we are reviving a market-driven revival of cocoa industry. In 1987, it died. There was a decline of the market and there was a change in political situation, right? Had we kept up to pace, from 468 metric tons, we would have easily exported 1,000 metric tons. And that's, you're talking about an impact of 10,000 farmers. If sugar industry has 15,000, we could have had 10,000 farmers. You know why? Because we can pay $1,500 a ton, metric ton. How much does sugar pay? 85, right? And our trees last 27 years. I'm not trying to downplay sugar. That's a very strong component of our economy and our backbone of economy. We are talking about running other agricultural commodities on a commercial basis, right? And you know, Reki is an area we could really have a great impact because of the fact that the mill is shut over there and the cartage is very high. And that's perfect land around Nalawa for cocoa farming. So I am blowing this trumpet right now. If other people hear it and understand it, they'll join forces. We could have a significant impact in these areas which need it. I'm telling you, they need it. I'm there, on the ground, man. I've been talking like this since 2014. And as far as the chocolate, we are making chocolate. We are not exporting. People are asking us to export, but we will export. Exporting is important. We need foreign exchange. That's why Ministry of Trade has a program called National Export Strategy. They support exporters. You can get a bulk made, a warehouse made. If you're into exporting, you know, National Export Strategy. So look, man, I came back to help people of Fiji, you know. If you guys need my help and you form some committee, I'm more than happy to be part of it so we can guide some of these people to capture that. So I know a lot of them, they cannot compile this thick paper to be able to qualify for National Export Strategy. I can help them. I'm a beneficiary of it. So I hope I answered your question. That's bulk market. We cannot compete with Ghana. We can start making our beautiful chocolate. We are making dark chocolate. It's good for health. If you want to eat sweet chocolate, you know, the misnomer over there is, you know, chocolate is not good for you, but dark chocolate is good for you. This is a high level of antioxidant. So we are starting a revolution here, Humphrey. I hope you'll join forces.
Okay, I have several other questions about, you say health giving, chocolate gives health giving, but you also said earlier that in making chocolate you have to add some sugar into it. I don't know what percentage of sugar, but according to the medical people, too much sugar is not good. And,
that's why we make 70% of our chocolate would be of cocoa content. You gotta have some sweetness in life, so we reduce it to 30%. Now, if you go and eat the traditional chocolate, which is Cadbury, that has the opposite figures. It has 30% cocoa, and the rest is sugar, milk, etc., etc. We are only 2 ingredients. If you look at our cocoa beans, and you're more than welcome, we don't have any preservatives, just cocoa and sugar.
Thank you.
Naka.
The other question is that are you getting enough cocoa locally or not? And the other question that I have to ask is that what percentage of the, how do you rate the cocoa industry in terms of against another product? Where is the rating in cocoa?
We don't want to compete with the product, but we want to supplement these sectors which are maybe declining, right? For example, I'm naming you Nalawa. Imagine taking sugarcane from there to Laucala mill at $85 a ton. we have a wonderful opportunity to do cocoa farming and focus on it, and the farmers will get $1,500 a ton. No carting fees. How is that changing the life? And to answer your second question, no, we are only exporting about 10 to 12 metric tons. Our immediate market demand is 50 metric tons. But we are not like Copra Fiji, you know. We are a private company. Copra Fiji, I was just driving from Reykjavik, they just got a $700,000 seedling subsidiary. You know what that does is, you know, people plant, you get a subsidiary for an incentive for planting. And we could do the same for cocoa. I've been talking about it. If somebody listens, there's a game changer waiting, right? So I don't want to point fingers, but, you know, everybody has their own priority. Like I said, we are passionate about cocoa farming. I'm on the grounds. I'm talking to farmers. I'm meeting with farmers. They are passionate. We have something here. Now we got to do something about it, right?
How does Fiji compare with Samoa?
Good question.
I travel with some business people from the Pacific to China.
Yeah.
And this guy from Samoa, he happened to be producing cocoa. And when he got up there, one customer said to him, I want about 5 containers of cocoa.
Yeah, I believe you.
and you know, he said, well, impossible to export 5 containers. Even 1 container is hard enough. But what is the weight of 1 container, sir?
1 container would be 12 metric tons. You can squeeze in 12 metric tons. No, they can do it. I've met people. I was recently at the EU conference. I've met people who are exporting about 50 metric tons. So Cocoa Samoa is way ahead than Fiji because they're never abundant at farming. And the other thing is in their lifestyle, early in the morning, they drink cocoa. If there's somebody from Samoa, they'll tell you that that's something which is part of their lifestyle, you know. Maybe that's why they don't get a lot of heart attack. So we gotta change our culture too, right? Yeah, this is a vital product with a lot of health benefits. We just have to inculcate into our daily lifestyle, right? You know, about 2 weeks ago, I attended a seminar, conference or class on food system, and Fiji has a big problem of low iron. And one of the strong contributors of that is not only vegetables, green vegetables, but also dark chocolate and cocoa. So these are lifestyle changes we got to make. Backyard gardening.
So you agree that Fiji need to plant a lot more cocoa?
Well, I told you we have immediately we need 50 metric tons, and we want 1,000 farmers. But you need a lot of resources to do that, you know. So
there's plenty of land laying idle, you know. I mean,
exactly.
All that has got to be done is get somebody out there and get it planted. But
get who?
Would your price attract them to do the planting?
It's more about that. You need to join forces. You see, you can't do it alone. You need to be aligned with Ministry of Agriculture. They have all these centers over here. They have technical officers. The technical officers need to respond to market signals. If they're not responding, and then we're gonna do it, but it's gonna be slower.
Yeah. Oh, my name is Paulo Tawake from Kamba, Mbautele.
Where is he? Oh.
So just only one question. Sorry, 2. What other obstacles do you face in cocoa here in Fiji? Can you just name one, please?
Main obstacle is I wish that the Ministry of Agriculture aligns with us, and they are well set up with all these centers all over, where at least you go not once a week, then once a month to the cocoa farm and says there's a market. So that's not happening in Reykjavik, I want to be honest with you. The guy just came once a year. Vanuatu is more helpful with cocoa, you know. The only other problem the farmers faced was market. We are providing them with market access, but they need training, you know. Yeah, and we cannot do it on our own. unless I raise $1 million in the South Pacific Stock Exchange like Zain. We could do that too. There's a source of financing, you know. That's how much we believe in this. Would you be willing to buy a share?
Of course, yes.
Excellent.
And secondly, sir, what's the price of your cocoa beans to all the farmers?
It varies. If you give us 1 ton, it's $1,500. If you give us under 100 kg, it's $1.20. So once the volume increases, then the price would go up.
Those are the dried ones.
Not dry, suwa, wet, very heavy. Sometimes they put some water too, but it's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Look, the farmers don't have to do anything. See, they tried to dry it, and that was very hard for them. So I got people who are monitoring the fermentation, who are checking the temperature, who are checking the drying process, who are checking the moisture. Very hard for farmers to do that. We would like to call ourselves like the FSC of the cocoa industry, you know. So we'd love to be at $2, right? Once we hit our break-even of 20 metric tons, we'll be offering $2. And that's $2,000 a ton. That's good money. All you need to do is 5 tons. So it's like $10,000 apart from, when we're not telling you to abandon your other crops, do intercropping, right? With your cassava, your dalo, your coconut.
So because in your presentation, it states that you pay farmers, but I actually don't know what's the price.
I gave you the price. Is that, are you thinking of doing cocoa farming?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, pass the message to the people that the market is here. Yeah.
And sir, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure being here. I hope I can inspire some of you. So if there's an avenue and gentleman over here set something up, I'd be happy to part of it so we can advise people based on my experience, you know. But we love to make a difference.
Good afternoon, Mr. Khan. I come from north of Tailebu. There's a lot of cocoa farmers in Tailebu, but need to be revived.
Yes.
I heard that you're talking about engaging 1,000 cocoa farmers.
Yes.
So how you can, financially, we need a spot.
Yes.
So how you can look into that to support the cocoa farmers, to revive the cocoa farmers in Tailebu?
Yeah, that's the challenge we are facing, you know. With our limited resources, we are trying to reach farmers one at a time. But we are planning sometimes in March and April to have annual Cocoa Farmer Day in Nukulua. And want to invite all the farmers and educate them that please don't give us dry beans. We just want the wet beans. And we'll buy whatever. So look, technology is here. Some farmers just want cash. You know, if you got 1 ton ready, it's feasible for us to come and pick it up and transfer that $1,500 into your bank account. All those M-Pesa and all these things here, you know, they are. So we got to work together. Maybe we'll, so there's a Cocoa Farmers Association, but it's pretty dormant, you know. It's not active, Yeah. And they never invited us to the Cocoa Farmers Association. So that's a disconnect from the start.
Thank you.
Mr. Khan, just a question in regards to the slides. It's a beauty looking at your business development. What are some of the secrecy behind where you were and where you are now?
So one of the first thing is your vision. You know, you need to really think about what you want to do, you know. Yeah. So you got to look at the big picture. We started off wanting to be the biggest or the main supplier of cocoa beans from Fiji. If you fall a little short, it's still okay, right? So the vision is important, you know. I spend a lot of time trying to strategize and visualize of where we want to be. That's very important for a businessman. Sometimes you're going to get engaged in the operation side of things. You come home, you're tired, you knock out. No, but you got to have one day allocated to reading, and so Sunday is my day. I read a lot, read about you know, other businesses, go to different sites. So you get inspired and you get ideas, you know. Yeah. So The vision is important, Yeah. And then you got to have great people. Without a good team, it's impossible. Like I said, the 4 Ps, one of the people are very important. What kind of farming are you in? Or business?
I'm going to farming
Okay, there you go. So, what area?
in Netasir.
Okay, so you want to come up with a nice branding and what market you're looking for. See, branding is important. You got to come up with so if Savu Savu Kava is created a name for itself, you can create one for Naitasiri. We did it for Reki Reki, cocoa beans. We started with Draketi, everybody wanted Matasawa Levu. Next thing you know, we started pushing Draketi, everybody wants Draketi.
Lastly, Mr. Khan, what were some of the challenges faced along the way?
Ooh, a lot of challenges. Life is a challenge of a business person. Yeah, you got to keep on innovating, man. No one day is easy, Yeah. Even if you have money, the tax collectors will come after you. So, you have good people. And challenges is every day, man. There's a thing called cadmium testing. All of a sudden, my French customer wants cadmium testing. That cadmium is, volcanic rock creeping into the cocoa beans, and they got high metal level. Who would think that all of a sudden a 5-year relationship would turn into this? So now he wants my beans tested before I ship it. How am I going to test it in Fiji? Come to USP? So every day is challenges, man. Yeah, but so in business, the only constant, you'll change. Every day change. You keep on repositioning and don't give up. Keep your eyes on the prize, right? The vision I talked to you about. When you're sipping that kava, you think about strategizing your business. I hope to try some of that Natasiri kava, by the way.
For me, if I want to start this business, I just want to know how the cocoa beans grow and harvest. I just want to know the year or month.
Sure.
Yes.
So
if I want to start a business.
Yeah. Which area are you from?
Well, I'm from Laos.
Laos, okay. There's cocoa in Laos, by the way. I'm sure it's beautiful, organic, would make a delicious chocolate. It has to be, of course, you plant in the rainfall season. It needs that for the seedlings to grow. So the first thing I would say is contact your Ministry of Agriculture to get your soil tested, It should not be very acidic. And if it's very acidic, then you can put in Laucala, Aggie lime to make it. But the seedlings, Ministry can supply you seedlings. If you're close by to us, we do sell seedlings at $3.
And a harvest? How do you
harvest is twice a year. The harvesting period would be November, December, October, November, December, and April, March.
That's if you plant from January, right?
Well, see, first it takes about 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, for it to bear fruit. So
Thank you very much.
Mr. Khan, good afternoon. Just a quick question. On your presentation, you mentioned something about flexibility, right? So you said that the only constant was change. So along the way, what were some of the changes that you said that made quite an impact on your business?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, if you take a journey of how we started this, I was working with a consultant, and we had lack of knowledge in the practical side of it on how to prepare and process it, So the first shipment I sent, you read something in Google and you think that, Mars is a chocolate company. When they give you a report, that's a true report. That's the worst report I read. We did something which is called a pod storage. We left the cocoa pods to sit for 3-4 days. And there's people started saying, even they said the fermentation inside, let it ferment, but that's wrong. It starts germinating. So that's the first change. So my consultant rejected it, which is okay. I didn't give up. So we quickly changed it. Just When we get the beans, we got 24 hours to start fermenting it straight away. That's the number one rule. That's the main change we made. And then, we turn it after every 24 hours. So you have to be meticulous in the turning. Otherwise, the flavor will be off. And then the chocolate flavor would be off for the client, and he would get pissed off, right? But thank God, we have had clients for 4 or 5 years, because if your processing is good and they like it, don't change it. So that's the one change which was a game changer to export our cocoa beans and get it to an international standard. So same thing with kava, or same thing with coffee. Get it to an international standard and, use the Fiji branding. It will go, man.
Mr. Khan, my name is Alex. I'm right here on the far left side. Just a question regarding the power of social media, because I myself, I really believe in that. And also, a lot of products that are here, the only thing that they lack is the marketing part. My question is, since most of the manufacturers that are here that does packaging, because I know that they work in quantity size. And my question is there a doorway for small business like this? Is there any opening for them to actually get their product packaged in a minimum price? Yeah. Because if I do understand that it was mentioned also yesterday that quantity is something that is a problem with us here as a business, as a startup. That is my question.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest challenge when you're starting to launch a product. Can I know what your product is?
I have various...
One product?
I'm looking at the cover business.
Cover business, eh?
And also, I'm helping my wife also. She runs her catering and baking business. So I'm trying to focus myself on cover business at the moment.
Yeah, the biggest problem we will have is graphics design. So what I did early on, even I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars. So there's a website called Fiverr. Fiver. So US $5, you can get a nice logo done. That's 10 Fijian dollars. I think that's worth $1,000 gift to you. Fiverr would design everything for you. Even they tidied up my logo. We came up with the concept. He tidied up the logo, and they would give you everything for your social media logo, for your business card, etc. Right? So that's a great deal, right? So that's a way to do that. As far as printing, that's what I've suggested, and I've been suggesting that we need within Ministry of Trade, small business or other small business incubators to be able to help small business, have a design team to be able to help them design, because that's the biggest problem, So this is an entrepreneurship week. Maybe USP could consider that too. Apart from that, as far as printing, I don't know, have you considered outsourcing it? They require bulk printing, so it's a tough one. But I've given you a tip on Fiverr with logos and all this. And if you're a little crafty, then you can use Canva. Canva is a free software for your cakes and all those things. They make beautiful presentation. So that's free.
cocoa powder, the cocoa powder is not made in Fiji for some reason best known to all the people who market them. But why can't cocoa powder be, a local cocoa powder be sold in Fiji? Now, I take cocoa every evening at night for a very good reason. Do you know, anybody here know why you take cocoa at night? If you don't know, it gives you good night's sleep. So cocoa is important in that respect. But I'm sorry to say that all the cocoa that I see here are packed in tin, and they are from overseas, and I can't see any Fiji-made label. That's one. The other one is, I find it difficult to understand why the price of cocoa is so expensive. Is there any good reason why cocoa
How much is it?
can be so expensive? In a 200 gram pack, it's $3.45. Now I understand, and the jar can go over $6 and $7 and more. Now I can understand one thing: the packaging costs a lot of money. But why can't some people make it simple so that it doesn't have to be in a jar or be in a nice packet or just a plastic container or something like that?
$3.45 sounds like a deal to me, Humphrey. But I'll tell you, you have read my mind. Fiji should be able to produce their own cocoa powder. I agree with you. So maybe that's next time I come here, we may have cocoa powder, but it won't be $3.45 because of economies of scale, right? Yeah. But true, we should be able to have our own cocoa powder. So if we promote the cocoa industry, then all this value adding will be self-sufficient. But that's something in the pipeline. All right, folks, thank you very much. Naka.
All right, thank you very much. I will just hand over the mic to the Ministry of Industry and Trade. I think they have their presentation. Mr. Mbuli Levuka.
Okay, sorry for you keeping you waiting. Yes, on a slide, we'll just recap on what was done yesterday. In case you've missed out on some business ideas, or must have gone maybe daydream on in your night dream and remembered a business idea. So let's recap on that today. Can you come up with a business idea? Anybody from this line? Yeah. Come again? Okay, it's something with hobbies. Good. And then you develop on that and turn it into a business idea. Good, thank you. That's right. For example, in the, what industry will you be focusing on? What business? Baking, okay. Maybe you can bake for a catering business and supply, okay. Cooking and all, good, thank you. Any other business idea? Come on, this is an interactive session. Yes. Tailoring, okay. Where at you will be operating a business? At home? Where? In somewhere in Thailand? Where at in? Good. Okay, well described. Thank you. Any other? Singing. Where will you be operating your business? No, sorry. Which part of No Sorry? No Sorry town. You'll be there with the guitar and... oh, good. Yes. Good. Have you seen a guy who, an old man, who always sing, sitting down on the streets? Yeah? He has a nice, beautiful voice. Yes? Okay? And there he is collecting money as a business and singing. Okay? And not only he's been operating business here in Suva, he travels to the West as well. Okay? Anyone else? Come on. Already started a business, okay. Okay. Right. Good. Good. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Good, thank you. Very well said. Don't worry. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Don't be scared. Okay. Right. Give a hand of applause, please. Thank you. I think her story is very inspiring, and she's enthusiastic with what she's saying, and it's a lesson to learn for us all here. Okay, a new business idea. Okay, let's come up with a new business ideas, and with new business ideas, I think you have internet, okay, social media there for you to learn from and from each other, okay. This is one business idea that you'll see in the next slide. What's that? That one? Surfing, right. This is an activity, okay, and most of the tourism industry, they engage in this kind of business, okay? And maybe you can use this idea, okay, and inculcate it with a cultural, okay, or a normal raft that you usually have. Let's go on to the next slide. Okay. That's another new idea. Okay? Yes? Billy paddle boarding. Okay? Just change the brand name from paddle boarding to Billy. So your brand name is Billy paddle boarding. Fun and fitness. Okay? Is that a new idea? Can you share some new ideas? By looking at the picture? Okay, this slide, please. Sir, do you have some new ideas? Preserving it. Come on. It's an interactive session. You give an ideas. Okay, we are trying to unlock. Okay, unlock what is there that is locked up there. You are trying to unlock and open it up. Okay. So when these 5 days finish, when you finish them for 5 days, you will go back. Okay. With informative ideas and try and implement it. Okay. And maybe you'll come up with new ideas. Okay. Anybody? Sightseeing with Billy. Good. Sightseeing with Billy. In which part of Fiji you'll be operating that business? Waisiliva. Wow. Anyone else? Yeah. Oh. Thank you, Tao. So he's strategizing himself because he's from there. Is that it? Go fishing. Oh, what a good idea. I didn't thought of that. Good. Thank you. As we'll go to the next slide. See, that's a new idea. We are trying to instill in you the idea of trying to think of new ideas. Yeah, it's not part of our culture, especially Tauke culture. Yeah, that's why we are trying to instill in you this type of thought-provoking, okay, ideas, so that you can go back and think for new ideas and even try your own business, eh? Run your own business. How's that? In which part of it is that? Yeah?
You know the slides that was shown to you earlier, that's paddle boarding. You know, if anybody knows paddle boarding. Paddle boarding is a very famous thing globally. Most countries have paddle boards. You know, the first couple of slides my friend here has shown you. What I'm saying is, what he's trying to say is, we can ride on that. A lot of people in other parts of the world, like Hawaii, Australia, and all that, they know about paddleboard. It's stand-up paddling. They'll stand up and they pedal. Kilame papiti, all right. And it's a very good exercise, and it's fun, and it's in the water. So if somebody were to, nobody's doing this in Fiji. Sorry. There is one person who is actually hiring Bilimbili. That's at $30 an hour. You hire, vehicles and, machinery for $30 or $50 an hour. But he is hiring his Bilimbili at $30 an hour. Imagine that. So that's what he's trying to demonstrate, that paddleboarding is already known in the world. So we can just change it slightly. Paddleboard on a Bilimbili, for example. Because our people in Fiji have been doing this for, I don't know, centuries. And it's nothing new.
So that brings us to the next slide. See and act on new business opportunities. Okay? See and act on new business opportunities. So why you have to wait? Okay? That's another question. At least on to the next. Okay? Why you have to wait? Okay? After looking at the ideas, okay, yesterday and today, and recapping on that, okay, I think it should be boiling anew the idea of yearning to get new ideas and straight away venture into business. I'll go straight away into self-assessment and rating yourself. Okay, those are the 10 characteristics that entrepreneur should have. Okay, so you try and rate yourself. Okay, just use your notebook and try and rate yourself from 1 to 10. Give you 2 minutes to do that. Looking at the first one, I enjoy doing things on my own. Nobody has to motivate me to get started on a task. Okay? That's a good characteristic. If I make my money to do something, I don't let anything stop me. Number 3, I do not hesitate to undertake risks related to creating and operating enterprise. I plan my time and resources. Well, I do produce high quality products. I assess time and capacity I have before I commit accomplishing a job. I act upon opportunities that needs and problems present. I keep trying again and again. And great challenges and failure. That's to be persistent. I work hard to try to foresee potential risks so as I prevent future risks. I make personal sacrifices to complete jobs in order to keep my word and meet promised deadlines. I am able to make decisions on my own, incorporating suggestions and ideas of others as part of that process. So you just go through the characteristics. I'm sure some of you have finished with that. Okay? So I don't have to find out whether you rate yourselves as the above, okay, or below. You know yourselves. So that's where you stand. Okay? And from there, try and improve. Okay? try and improve and try to better some of the characteristics that you are lacking in, okay, or that you have problems with. On to trades, okay, I'm sure our friend Mr. Arif Khan have shared most of the traits, okay, and the characteristics that the entrepreneur should have. I'll just share a few. Opportunity seeking, okay, seeking opportunity all the time. In opportunity seeking, it is centered in around three things, okay. It's only first, it's only when you can pay for it, okay. Second, if there's a need, and thirdly, if you have the cash, okay. So that's the other part of finding gaps, okay, and opportunities that we have in order to venture into any business. Commitment to work, okay, you have to be committed when running a business. So it needs your time, okay, your talent, the knowledge and all, okay, and maybe you have to spend times more than 8 hours, okay, so it is demanding time from you. So efficient in terms of organization, organizing yourself as a business. So you have to be organized, okay? Organize yourself efficiently, and you'll be able to be successful in doing business. Set your goals, okay? You have to set your goals in order to achieve what you are aiming for, okay? In any business, if you don't have any goals, okay, it's just like flying an aeroplane with no compass. So if there's no compass in an aeroplane, what will happen? It will crash. Information seeker, yes, that's another very important thing an entrepreneur should have. Seeking information, okay? You don't have to be too content with what you have, okay, the information you have. Seek information, even from a lone villager, he can be an advisor to you, okay? In terms of cover farming, okay? Technically, okay? You don't have to fetch for those higher white-collar people to seek information from, but there are people around you, okay? Use them. With networking, yes, as I've said by our friend Mr. Arif Khan, as he has clearly spelled out what is networking in his business. But there can be other forms of networking. With self-confidence, that's another very important thing. You should have self-confidence when running a business. What can you see, or what can you say about this? The icons, I can see. Anybody? Can you identify them? Yes? Mary Samson. Good. What is very important about Mary Samson? Come again? Come again? Okay, let's take Mary Simpson. Co-founder of Hot Bread Kitchen. Good. What else? Successful businesswoman. Anyone else? Just by looking at them, what comes into your mind? Tomorrow, what will happen? After 5 days? Just by looking at them. Who's the second in the photo? Hari Punja, Mr. Hari Punja, the owner of the well-known Kunja industry or whatever. Okay? FMF. Okay? And who's that? The third guy in the picture. Huh? Richard Branson, the owner of the Virgin Blue. Okay? So you can see characteristics and traits of these well-known and icons of the internationally and local businessmen. Okay? I believe something has been boiling up in your mind, okay? And burning feelings. After these 5 days, what will happen? What will happen? I will want to be one of these guys. Okay? This is the very thing that we are trying to drive in this essence that we take. Okay? For you to understand, look at them. Okay? How did these people end up running businesses, big businesses? Okay? How did they prosper? How were they successful? Okay? You have to ask that. Okay? Want to add on? Then we take on to the next slide, selecting the right business. How would you select the right business? Okay, let's look at the next slide. Yeah, you can come up with more than 100 ideas. Yeah? What's the graphic up there? Huh? A funnel. Okay? Okay? You can fill the ideas in that funnel, 100 ideas. Okay? Once it goes down the funnel, the space becomes smaller. So what will happen? Only a few can enter that hole. Okay? And when it goes down to the strainer. Okay? After filtering the solution or whatever, the idea into the strainer, what will you have? The residue. Okay? What will you do with that residue? The unwanted business ideas. What will you do with that? Throw it away. Okay? You might just come up with 2 or 3 ideas. Okay? How will you do that? You can also use the SWOT analysis. Okay? Your strength. What else? Weakness, opportunity, and threats. Okay? You can also use that the method to eliminate the unwanted business ideas. Now, once you have those 3 ideas, then you analytically screen it again to come up with the best idea. Okay? Come up with the best idea. Okay, it might, and also it might, you may have to base your, also the selection of your business idea with these 2 skills. Market, okay, and demand. Once you have the market and you have the demand, go on. Okay? Start your business. Don't wait. Okay? And then you have the capability. Okay? These, they have to match. You have the demand, you have the market, and you have the capability. Once you have these three, kickstart your business. Okay? Once you are able to, capable of supplying hundreds of mangoes or whatever to the market, you start your business. Okay? You want to add something?
Okay, so, yesterday, from business ideas, you know how to come up with ideas. And you see, the most important thing is realizing that there is an opportunity. Just like that young lady yesterday, she had gone to which resort? Outrigger. She's not the first person to go to Outrigger and have lunch. I'm sure thousands of people have gone there. I mean, Fijians, us. But nobody saw the opportunity. Nobody saw the opportunity. So when the lunch bill was given to her on a saucer, she immediately realized, this is my business. She identified a business opportunity. So not everybody will be able to see an opportunity. Now that is the problem. What we want to do is to create that awareness that you are alert and you recognize there's an opportunity. Because otherwise, somebody will come to your village or come to your locality and realize there's a great opportunity here. But you have lived with that and you haven't seen it. So it requires a bit of training and all that. But it also requires you mixing with the right people. As I said yesterday, you have to talk to those people who are already in business. Talk to entrepreneurs, sit with them, get ideas from them. You don't have to get ideas from us. There are many people already here who have ideas. Okay? So it's that, just identifying an opportunity. That's the first step. And of course, taking action. Now, so you've put, as my friend here has shown you in the funnel, and a strainer. So you've got about, maybe 20, 30 business ideas, and now you have to put it through a sieve. You have to put it through a strainer. Because you can't start 20 businesses. So you put it through the sieve. You put it through the funnel. And you try to pick something that you can do. The ones that you don't pick, you don't throw them away. What do you do with them? You keep it on the side. Maybe the time is not right. And you can revisit. And then you're going to start. You're going to start small. Our speaker before us, he also said start small. Everybody says start small, which is true. It's true, start small. That guy, Richard Branson, you know what he used to do? His first business, he was a dropout. He's a high school dropout. And And today, he's trying to send people to space. That's the type of business he's doing. But he was a dropout. What was his first business? As a teenager. You know, he was selling records, okay? You know those records? He was selling records out of a old telephone booth. That's what he was doing. Started very small, okay? Now, so once you have decided which business to do, how do you really choose? How do you really choose the business you do? You know, it's not easy to, you know, discuss these kind of things in a big group like this. You know, there are many ways. Now, I'm not an expert. We're not saying we're experts and we know everything. So some things we'll tell you, but there are other methods. The thing that I normally say, there might be lecturers here in the university teaching business, but basically you can look at many things in order to decide which business am I going into. But realistically, there are only two things. Many people will tell you 10 things, 20 things, 50 things. This is personal. I look at only two things. And those two things are, one is the first thing is the market. Market means what? In a simple man's language, will anybody buy my product? You know, no fancy word. Will somebody buy? Or in our language, we call them customers. It's a big word, market, but it really means customer. Who's gonna exchange it? Who's gonna buy this using and give me money? Is it simple? Yes. And if you think there are enough buyers, then you start thinking hard enough now. Because you have a market, you have buyers. But you better be sure, you better be sure that you have a market. So can you really start a business without a market? No. What should you do then to your idea? Yes, kill it. Kill it. Because if you don't have your customers, you won't make money. Mr. Humphrey Cheng will tell you that. He's been running business. For information, if you don't know him, was he introduced? No. Humphrey Cheng is the managing director of Wingley Motors. It's a pretty big company. Okay? And he has been vice president of Fiji Chamber of Commerce, Gerald Humphrey, Retailers Association, Manufacturers Association. He's a very active man. All right. I'll, you know, a bit later I'll tell him, I'll give him the mic so that he can also address you. So you have a guy here who already knows about these things. So market is important. You can't run a business without a market, without customers. Okay, no business without market. And the market, there's another thing. The market has to be attractive going into the future. It's not only for today. So you can't set up a business and say, okay, I've got clients today, or I've got clients in the next 6 months, and I'll start. No, it doesn't work like that. You must have what I call a demand into the future. You got it? You know, the demand is going to grow. So that will be a good business to go into. So the market is growing. You get it? It's not just going to stop because it'll affect you. Okay, and while I'm on the market, I better tell you another thing. Say I demonstrate an example. So you live in this village, and the village has got, say, for example, 50 houses. And every day you see, at about 4 o'clock, after kids come back from school, you see them, roaming around hungry. Because mothers don't like to cook, so they wait till about after the afternoon nap, then they start cooking before the husband comes home. So in the meantime, the kids just have their tea and they go around playing, and they don't have much to eat. I'm talking about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And you see a lot of kids in the village. So you decide, why don't I bake some buns? Hot buns? It's very yummy. Hot buns. And you place some butter on top of that. Or some homemade jam. All right, you're getting hungry now? Yes. Now you got 50 homes in the village. And you know that the nearest bakery is about 2 miles away. And you know that. So what do? I said to you first, look at the market. Is there demand? Okay, I'm trying to tell you is you must not guess. You make a calculated guess. Make some calculation. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So the demand. There are how many houses? 50. Okay. Average household size, say for example, is 5 in a village. Numbers are getting smaller for whatever reason, Humphrey. In your days, there'd be 10. Okay. All right? Average size of a family is 5. Right? So what is the population of the village? 250. 250. Plus or minus, yes. Maybe 250 point something, Some are yet to born. Okay. So 250 people live in that village. So 250, one family will be able to eat at least a dozen. Minimum. All right? With the kids. The kids will all eat a dozen. It's hot. So you have 250, you can say, okay, we're just going to make, even 120. Half. All right? So 250 people, how many buns would be at least 250 buns? At least minimum, at least a bun each. But you're going to make only half of that. And that's only about 125. 125 buns. So about 12 dozens. Okay? Will you be able to send 12 dozens? Hot buns at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon in a village? And you're the sole bun maker? Of course you can do that. It's hot cake. I remember very well when my kids were small, every day, almost every day, I used to run down to a shop. This was a Chinese bakery, just to get hot buns, because at 3 o'clock, they start churning out buns. Okay, anyway, regarding marketing, what I'm trying to tell you is you calculate the numbers. Don't just say, oh, there is demand. Oh, I will sell 120 dozen. No, you calculate. You get it? Okay, so basically 2 things I talked about. The market has to be attractive today. It must be attractive tomorrow. It must be attractive for a very long time. Anybody wants to add on to that? Or make a comment about the market? Anybody? Is it true? Is it wrong? Or what? You agree? And you understand why, eh? Okay. And the next thing that you look at, there's a second thing, is yourself. That's the word. Capability. That word in black, capability. Capability means, what does capability mean? You know, some tips are there. Capability means what? Somebody? Your capability means your ability? Okay, ability. One ability means, okay, do you know how to do this? Oh, you just want to sell buns in a village. Are you a baker? Can you bake? Is that right? Do you have the knowledge? That's capability. I can do it. What else? So knowledge, skill is a capability. What else? Experience is a capability, yes. Some people are more experienced at other things. So if you have experience in that, right, it's pretty good. What else? Okay, and how will you do that? That's your capability. What do you need for that? Okay, she's saying, can you meet the demand every day? So what that means is, do you have the resources? Maybe money. You got some resources, eh? Yeah, you got some people. Right? Have you got the people to do it? Maybe you can't do it. Maybe your sister can help you. Maybe your neighbor can help you. Maybe you can have a worker. That's your workers. Anybody else? What about machinery? Do you have, in the case that I gave you example of baking, do you have an oven? You see? Do you have the tools? Do you have the technology? Do you have what it takes to make that product? Are you getting it? Access to? Access to clients. What did you say? Sorry. Yeah, you said access to clients. Access. You already have the clients, but she's saying access. Can you reach the client? That is true. Maybe you have the market, but you can't reach because you have no transport. Eh? Maybe you can't reach. Yes, access to client. That is good. Access, having access. You see, just on that note, a lot of businesses thrive because customers can access you. You know, convenience. You will buy from somebody because of, the word is convenience, because it is easy. That's why people pay a lot of money to buy vegetable on the side of the road than to go to the market. Going to the market is cheaper to buy. Do you get it? It is cheaper to go to the market and buy your vegetables. But you know what? Half the time I buy mine from Mid Road, those markets on the side of MHs. And I tell you, they're expensive. If I spend $7 for a banana, man, it will be a very small bunch. It will be a very, very small bunch. If I go to the market, I'll only pay $2 for that. But at Mid Road, I'll pay $7. But why do I go there? Because of convenience. Convenience, yes. So business people need to be thinking of convenience as well. Okay, so there are two things that you need to look at. First is the market, and the other thing is yourself. You look at yourself, you look at your company. can we meet? Do I have the things required to produce for the market? Okay. I put another scenario. The market is very good. Sorry. The market is very poor. Right? Very poor market for your product. But your capability is very good. What do? Do you continue with the business? Who said yes? Yes? Who said yes? Remember I said the market is very poor, but you have the capability. Right? What do you do? What do you do? Tell me. Look for another market? Okay, you can look for another market. Or?
Rebrand.
No, you got no market. What do you do? No, there's no demand. Okay, maybe the sensible thing now is to just kill it. Don't start. Remember we said that the market has to be there. Got it? Yes, the market has to be there. The demand has to be there. Well, if you are Mr. Vinod Patel or Mr. Humphrey Chang or somebody like that, then no problem. Spend $200,000 advertising. And you might create the demand. But we are not there yet. We have no time. We don't have spare money. So if the market is not there, what do? Kill it. Kill it. Don't waste time. It might be a brilliant idea though, but you just got no money. Right? Okay, but if anybody is bold enough, wants to continue, no problem. All right, but I wouldn't do that. Okay, scenario 2. The market, right? The market is good. The market is very good. Right? There's a lot of demand in the market for your product. But your capability in the company and yourself is very low. You have a low capability, but the market is there. Do you get it? The market is there, but your capability is low because you might not have enough money, you might not have the tools, you might not have, your ovens, you might not have, things like that. But the market is there. What do? Yes? Yes? Social impact? What's that? Yes? Brainstorm? Okay. Yes? Team up. Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is the capability, if it's weak, you can do something about it. Isn't that right? You can do something about it. Already some people are saying, look for a partner. Somebody said, ask for help. You get it? Why are you doing that? Because you already see the opportunity. The market is there. People are willing to pay for your product. But you don't have the capability. Get it? You don't have the capability. But can you do something about it? Yes, you can. Maybe you get the right team. your finance is poor. So you might look at ways of improving your finance. You don't have the tools, machinery, whatever. You might try to get that or source that somehow. So you can. You see, your capability is in your hands. What about the market? No. Can you control the market? No. So if the market is good, the market is, you have a market for your product, and your capability is poor, you still can attempt, provided you improve your capability. What if the market is poor? No, no luck. Okay? So it's pretty simple in a way. When you're selecting your business. All right? Because a lot of us, you know what we do? A lot of us, when we want to start a business, we think we have the market. So we just start. Or sometimes we don't even think of the market. We just say, okay, I'm going to do this. No, you're not going to start until you are sure that you have a demand for your product, that people are willing to pay. People are willing to purchase your product. People are willing to pay for your service that you provide. Okay, anybody wants to make a comment on what I have talked about now?
Just one issue.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Capability. You know, you've got a lot of stuff there. The one that I didn't see there is courage.
Courage.
The one that I didn't see there amongst the many things is the courage. Now, in business, aside from anything else, confidence is one thing, but you must also have the courage to do it. And I like to use what Sir James Akoi says, you have to have some luck on your side. That may be something that is not under your control, but you know, if you get the courage and you got the luck there, you are in business. Okay, can I comment on other things as well? One of the issue that the previous speaker has talked about is everyone starts small. Yeah, everything starts small. Some start from their backyard. Some start from their home. Some very famous products in this world, Coty, you heard of that name? They start from their home, overseas. So everything starts small. We in SME, the Chamber of SME, is also small and medium enterprise. We're not talking about the corporate members. We're talking about the small members who employ maybe up to 10, up to 20 people. One of our functions is networking. You heard of the word networking earlier. What better place than to do networking in joining an association like the SME? Because there you have people, the business people who are already in the know. You can talk to them. You can mingle amongst them and ask them questions. Join us. Have a go. Subscription fee is very low, $50. No sweat. You know what? The Chamber is doing something that no other organization is doing. The Chamber of SME can get you discount. Have you ever been able to get discount on buying some in the service station, fuel? Can you get discount on fuel? Never. No way. No way you can get discount. We're going to give you discount. If only you join us. Because how we do that is we talk to the providers and they agree that so long as you are SME members, we can give you. But you have to join us. When this meeting closes, if some of you who wants to join SME, come right in the front here. I'll get you signed up and go from there. I think there's a lot of good things coming on your way if you join up in SME. I'm talking about fuel, but not only fuel. We get discount on a lot of things, maybe 20 other items. And we're looking at something like grocery as well. Somebody wants to stop me, I know. Okay.
What's your percentage discount? What's the percent for your...
Okay, what Humphrey is saying is this association they're trying to form. Well, the association has been formed already. I think it's a registered body. So I think the vision is, if I might just say this, is to get these small businesses, the SMEs, together. Because, usually what you'll find, SMEs operate in a very small way. Like their mom and dad shop, they're one-person operator, or 2 or 3 people operator in a business. So it's basically very small. So what they're trying to do is put this group together, okay? And 1, lobby for your interest. 2, promote your business. Just like he's talking about discount and all that. So if as a group, everybody sign up, then they have a bit of a clout, a bit of power. So they can negotiate. Say, on website designing, small business on itself might find it very expensive. So if there are, say, 20 small businesses want to create a website, maybe they can make a deal with somebody to create the website with a discount and things like that. I think that's where it's coming from. Is that right? Okay, so just to round up, because we have our next speaker here, for today, we have, just to repeat that, we were looking at, you have come up with ideas, it is time for you to decide which idea I'm going to take forward. Okay? And just remember, it's your market that will decide. You have to have demand, you have to have customers, and then, of course, you look at your own capability. If there are gaps in your capability, you can work on it. All right? And you work on it so that you improve your capability and you take advantage of the potential you have in the market. Okay. So as we go along, I know some people, met me outside yesterday. Every second person I talked to, they talked about finance. Where do I get the money? All right. How can I do business without money? Things like that. So it's kind of a hot topic. So maybe tomorrow or day after, I'm going to have a short discussion on that issue of, financing a startup. And what do you do if you don't have money? And maybe there are ways you can start a business without money. All right? So remember, you can start a business without money. I leave you with that thought. Okay? And then we'll discuss and talk about that. Maybe tomorrow or day after. Vinaka.
Thank
Thank you very much, Ravi. Could we just offer a round of applause again for Mr. Chan? Okay, we will just break for about 2 minutes. And then we'll come back and then we'll listen to Patricia Malam, who is here, but she's waiting for another speaker, right? If you just need to just go out and just breathe a little bit of fresh air, then come back here after 2 minutes, okay? Oh, okay, sure. No, not worry. Not worry, Humphrey. We can help you. Don't worry, Humphrey. We can help you. Go for Humphrey. You want to see you?
Next week.
You can go. They can request around, go require. Please don't go away. Eh? I'm giving you only 2 minutes to come back. We've got some wonderful presentations that are coming up today. Eh? Right? We've got the Young Entrepreneurial Scheme. Patricia's going to be talking about the Young Entrepreneurial Council. Okay? And then later on in the day, we'll be listening to a person here at the university who's going to be talking about the Canadian funding for small business, which closes on Friday this week. Eh? And then she'll also be talking about crowdfunding. So if you have a business idea, you cannot afford to miss that opportunity to listen to her. She's going to be talking about crowdfunding and funding of your business. All right? So that's going to happen at about 5:30 today. Eh? Right, so we'll listen to Patricia first before we listen to that other lady who's coming in at 5:30. Right? So I'll give you 2 minutes just for a break. Just stretch your legs, drink some water. All right, just replenish yourself and come back.
Iya. Mbona? Mbona kata dia? Dia musim. Boleh mereka tak boleh. Ya tak boleh kan? Boleh kan ramu? Aku selalu main mata ke saya kalau fulda. Kita boleh kan ramu? Ya boleh kan ramu lah. Atau Inggris? Sabalah oci. Alright. Kesambulu.
All right, please come in. Just about to start, eh?
Just do the. Yes, yeah. All right, sure. Right. Yeah, true. Oh, well, the Matangeli business is small and big. You can think of this guy. Meron ko, labo.
There's some businesses that people don't like.
Yeah. You got a first.
The income is great. In that small business, it's market. But turnover is huge. Simple product, one product. It's local product.
It's local. I really want to get to talk to this guy here, Humphrey. I actually called him as he wanted some information on this workshop thing. The work on a program, nakake. All right, we have Mr. Watisoninata here who's going to do the first presentation on the Young Entrepreneurial Council. And we won't waste any time and invite him to please make his presentation. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Watisoninata. Oh, yeah.
Hi, everyone. I had a look through the program and I thought by the time I sit here in the afternoon, there'd probably be nobody here. But you guys it's pretty overwhelming turnout. So I think this is the first presentation I've ever come to USP, and it's actually pretty full on. So have you guys been here throughout the whole day? Or some of you?
From 2 p.m.
Oh, from 2 p.m. Okay. Oh, yeah. So pretty intense with all your presentations before. What kind of, did you guys generally like the presentations before this? Yeah, very informative? Okay, good. Oh, well, that's a good thing. That's good energy. I'd like to ride on that good energy and continue with my presentation. But listen, what I'm going to do is it's going to be very informal. If you'd like to interject and ask me a question, somebody's messenger's going off. It's probably trying to get you to go home and get some dinner for the kids, but anyway. So, look, as informal as possible, if you want to interject and ask me a question, about what I'm going to be presenting and what I'm talking about at that very instant, please just put your hand up and just shout it out. Yeah, I'm quite talkative, and I've got to, I tend to talk too fast. So if I do talk too fast and I start mumbling my words, then you know that it's time to interject and tell me to shut up and slow down. Yeah, we good? Everybody good? Yeah? Okay, lovely, good. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the Young Entrepreneurs Council. Has anybody ever heard of the Young Entrepreneurs Council? Can I get a round of hands? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's very promising, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, but this is good. This is the audience to talk about the Young Entrepreneurs Council, and I'm happy to have been given the invitation to come and talk about the Young Entrepreneurs Council. Okay, so has anyone heard about the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation? Yeah? Okay, good. Does that ring a bell? Hands up. Yeah, I think that rings more of a bell than the Young Entrepreneurs Council. But by introduction, the Young Entrepreneurs Council is one of the councils, I think it's the 8th or 7th, I think it's the 8th council, under the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation banner. Now, just FYI, the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation is an entity that is, I'd say it's a private entity. That recognizes the protection of employers in Fiji. So they're the employer's voice in the private sector here in Fiji. So that's the collective body and the organization that looks after rather the representations of employers in Fiji. So you have all sorts of different companies and statutory organizations that are commercial arms or entities of the government that are part and parcel and form memberships or part of the councils of the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation. So, without boring you more, I'm going to talk about the Young Entrepreneurs Council and see how many of you want to join in on the Young Entrepreneurs Council. See, I'm here to evangelize, eh? I'm just being straight up. Anyway, so just a bit of a show of hands. Is anybody wanting or at this stage thinking of starting up a business? Any form of business, anything. It can be informal, yeah? It can be very formal, can be any sort of, yeah? I see a couple of hands going up. Is it a, yeah? Oh, lovely, good, awesome. Yeah? So, I've got my counterpart, Patricia. She's sitting here quietly looking at her phone. But, you know, if I fall short of any of the questions, Patricia's, we're going to do a tag team with the questions and answers. So Patricia's right here. So about us, we've got, I told you a bit, we're about the 8th Council under the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation banner. A bit of history. That's the timeline for the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation establishment, 1960. So the umbrella body that the Young Entrepreneurs Council falls under is pretty old. 1991, the organization went through a name change, and then officially the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation in 2010. Patricia, is that correct? And YAC was officially formed in 2016. So we're pretty fresh off the boat, and we're just forming and tell you a bit about that. We've just formulated our strategic plan, so we're carrying out activities under a strategic plan for the next 3 years. So it's exciting stuff, and it's a good time to join in with the Young Entrepreneurs Council. So what we do, advocacy and lobbying, but this is still under the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation, or generally both? Generally both. Okay, so what we do, see, this PowerPoint thing is very fancy for me. I didn't do it. Patricia on here just fixed it on her phone. It's some fancy app that I'm apparently not aware of. So it's like you just click on everything and then everything just pops up and you just talk along the way. Eh? But this is pretty good. I mean, we've got to get used to technology these days. So this is what we do. Advocacy and lobbying is primarily the core, I would say, the core responsibility of the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation. So the Young Entrepreneurs Council voices the concerns and the issues that young entrepreneurs face. And through that, we lobby together with the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation and also with the other councils that are part of the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation to get our voice out there and be heard so that we can affect policy change. Yeah? I know of all of you in the room, I'm sure you've had work experience before, and you will know that policy change is not an overnight thing. Yeah? So it's a collective voicing, strategizing, continuous advocacy and lobbying to be able to make, to change the minds and actually affect law change with the policymakers and the powers that be. So advocacy and lobbying is primarily the main function. Training and development is also under our donor funders. ILO is one of our donor funders, so they make it possible to offer training programs within the Young Entrepreneurs Council. So we'll have, we usually have financial literacy programs, and Fiji Commerce Employers Federation usually facilitates speakers from government organizations, whether it's compliance-based or financial literacy-based. So we'll get representatives from FERCA. If there is a change in law or a change in law that's being proposed, there's usually a representative from that organization that comes and speaks to the members and explains that, so that in turn, the business owners can then implement their own different policies and prepare for it and incorporate that into their business systems. So training and development, IR and HR consultancy, there's a lot of this training that goes on. We have, the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation has an internal IR consultant. And I think just yesterday there was a training, or last week there was a training on complaints resolutions in an employer-employee perspective. But through, if you go through the Fiji Commerce Employees Federation, the training schedules are there. And if you become a member, you're entitled to come to those trainings at a very minimized, subsidized cost. And it's very encouraging. So we do have our own in-house IR HR consultant, and he provides advice accordingly to the members. So if there's any struggles that you face as entrepreneurs, there's always an in-house counsel to speak with. Research, survey, and information distribution, and other publications as well. If you go, you're right there, Mr. You good? Ah, lovely, awesome. I thought you broke a toenail there, buddy. I was just gonna get the first aid out for you, bro. Okay, so that's a bit about what we do, but primarily the Fiji Commerce Employees Federation is an advocacy body. They're there to represent the voices of its members, and therefore the councils who are business owners, and therefore the Young Entrepreneurs Council as well. So here's a bit of our member profiles with the Young Entrepreneurs Council. What's the definition of young? What's everybody's definition of young? Does everybody feel young? Do we feel young at all? No, yes, no. Yes, we do feel young. So unfortunately, this is my personal opinion, unfortunately, we have an age limit that's tagged to the word young. So yeah. So you've got to be 40 years old, 40 years and younger, yeah? At the time of your application, lol. But anyway, so that's my personal opinion on it is the Pacific culture is more geared towards, we're not very entrepreneurial from a young age. So I think our culture and our circumstances doesn't really accommodate for entrepreneurship from a young age. So there's usually a trend where people go towards a later age, then they tend to think of going into entrepreneurism. But what we're trying to do at the Young Entrepreneurs Council is encourage and change that culture, change the mindset of people to sort of try and make it easier for young entrepreneurs at a young age to jump in into entrepreneurship from a young age, from just encouraging that little business idea that you may have, yeah, and providing really that safe space for young entrepreneurs to come and converge, people of like minds, and to nurture that idea, or just to provide support for whatever problems or compliance issues or whatever business challenges that you may be going through, regardless of what stage you are in business. The Young Entrepreneurs Council is there to provide that safe space. Yeah. Now we're a work in progress. I don't think that we're there yet, but we're starting, and it's a good place to be. We have our monthly meetings at the Fiji Commerce Employees Federation, and I'll invite all of you to come if you can. It's our last Young Entrepreneurs Council meeting was just last week, Wednesday. It was a pretty good turnout, and our next one is next month on the 15th, and that's a Wednesday. And that's always 10 a.m. You're most welcome to come and find out more about us at our meetings and ask as many questions as you want. And if you want to sign up as a member, you're most welcome to. So here, our next slide is really some of our members with the Young Entrepreneurs Council, and they're all, and this is just really profiling their businesses. So this is, our first profile is Moira. Does 8 Mountains, that's her brand. Is anybody familiar with 8 Mountains? I'm sure most of you. Yes? Is that a yes? Yeah? Okay, good. So, well, she's the owner and the founder of 8 Mountains, and she's also a member of the Young Entrepreneurs Council. So then you know she's not 40 yet, eh? Come on, guys. Yeah, so she's a fashion designer, and everybody knows her label. It's called 8 Mountains, and she features also as a member of the Young Entrepreneurs Council. So this is the founder and director of Vanua Clay Fiji. He's also a member of the Young Entrepreneurs Council as well. Tai Laucala. Kim Barrows, Party and Events Fiji. Fiji Weddings and Submitter Races, those are all her businesses also. She's, I think, just migrated recently to the Women in Business Council, which is another council of under the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation banner. So that's a bit about our structure. I just spoke a bit about that under for the Young Entrepreneurs Council. We structurally come under the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation, and there are the 8 other councils that also come under the, we have the Retailers Council, we also have a Human Resources Council, there's a Mining and Quarry Council as well, and there's several other councils under the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation. So depending on the type of business that you have or the business idea that you have, I would recommend that you join. If Young Entrepreneurs Council is not for you, then you can choose one of the 7 other councils that are there suiting your business or your business idea to fall under. Yeah? Again, it's an awesome support space and system. And then under the Young Entrepreneurs Council, we've got the chairman, and there's 2 vice chairs as well under the Young Entrepreneurs Council. So here is some of our objectives that we're currently working under with the Young Entrepreneurs Council. We're trying to reduce barriers. When we talk about reducing barriers, this is really just getting our voices heard through the Young Entrepreneurs Council. So getting a lot more representation through different circles and different avenues that we can represent the Young Entrepreneurs Council on. So we've been pretty active in that regard, from my perspective, but I'm sure we have a lot more work to do in terms of spreading the word about the Young Entrepreneurs Council. We're on Facebook anyway, so if you're on your phones at the moment, so just look up and give us a like, yeah? We're only got like, I think almost 2,000 likes. We need to up that number by 1,000 by the end of the week, so no pressure, guys, carry on. So there's, TOPEX is an annual conference for the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation, and we always have representation there by the Young Entrepreneurs Council members as well. We're also voicing our changes, our recommendations for change through these avenues. So this is really improving accessibility. These are some of the things that we have worked on and we're currently working on as well. Just a mentorship program that's currently adapted in our strategic plan. YAC access to business incubator services, publication of YAC member profiles, training and marketing, web portal for members' products and services, and a calendar and trade show participation. There's speaking of trade show participations, one of the other councils, the Women in Business Council that's under the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation, is having a trade show, which is just a collaboration of their members and their businesses, and they're going to be at the Threatre Walk next week Saturday, so this Saturday, sorry. And they'll be setting up booths for their members and showcasing the products and services of their members. So if you're free on Saturday, this coming Saturday, it's on from 10 a.m. at the Threatre Walk, and the Young Entrepreneurs Council is going to have a booth there as well, apart from, and also showcase some of its members' goods as well. So here we go, this is the criteria. Between the ages of 18 and 40 years, anyone that has a business, registered or unregistered, involved in the daily operations of your family business. Yeah? So if you're currently inheriting or you're about to inherit your family business, you're welcome to join. Or if you're struggling entrepreneur like I am, you're most welcome. We're very encompassing at the Young Entrepreneurs Council to cater towards different levels of stakeholders or where you're at in terms of where you are in terms of your business or the type of business that you operate. So that's where we're at. We're the Young Entrepreneurs Council. That's our email address, and also you can check us out on our Facebook page. Yeah, this thing's a fancy, so that's why I'm like clicking backward and forward. So I'm just still trying to get my head around the whole technology bit about it. So listen, with the young, that's the formalities out of the way. Does anybody have any questions for me at this stage? I'll tell you a bit about my experience. I recently left my 8 to 5 job, and I used to work full-time for the government of Fiji under the judiciary. I used to be based with Employment Relations Tribunal, but I left that job in September last year. I started a little retail shop in 2018. At the time, I didn't think it was a good idea. At the time, I thought it was the most stupid idea. But you know, sometimes you get this little inkling feeling inside of you that you want to shower and, you know, let it fester and nurture it. And if you have that fire in your belly, I would suggest that you take it and run with it and let it grow and experiment. Yeah? Going into business is not an easy thing. People might tell you that it's good, it's easy and all that rubbish, but it is very tough. Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat my words. If you're going to go into business, you've got to have the balls. And I say this for the ladies as well. I'm not, you know. Anyway. So, point being is I left my full-time job just to pursue my dream of being an entrepreneur. I don't know, I've started a little retail shop in 2018. Does anybody, it's just a small shop in Laucala Beach. It's called The Merch. Has everybody, if you put your hand up, have you heard about The Merch? Oh, cool. Oh, lovely. Okay, good. So, yeah, we started that idea with 2 friends of mine. We were drinking a bottle of whiskey. See, these whiskey bottles are very inspirational when you need to conjure ideas. Don't quote me on this, eh? There's no media in here, is there? But anyway, look, we started the business idea in 2018, imported my first container. I usually get my goods in from Australia and New Zealand, and I didn't know jack about importing containers into the country. So there is all these fees and charges, and then you get whacked with the shipping. Then there's tax on top of everything. There is duty on every item that you bring in, and then on top of that, you get whacked with tax. So I learned that the hard way. First container we bought in September. Saved enough money. I started selling things, but good thing my sister was unemployed, so I told her, listen, you know, since you're not working, you might as well do this for me, you know, sister brotherly kind of thing, eh? And then just wink, wink, and then family kind of wages, here's $50, you know, do this. So we started selling stuff from home, and that was September 2018. Got enough money together to open up a shop in November, 2 months later. So fast forward 2018, November, opened up a shop, had 1 warehouse space, and then we started selling from there. You know, we had a struggle is real, and be prepared to face your struggle. So we were pitching a tent on the roadside with music, with a huge music and playing music very loudly. That's, in Fiji, it's a thing, eh? If you play loud music, people will come to you. So that's I'm not saying it's a bad thing. So if you're gonna pitch a tent on the side of the road, my advice to you is play that music and play that good music real and loud. People love loud music here in Fiji, so it's a good thing. So we pitched a tent on the roadside and we just played loud music and showcased our goods on the side of the road until people started coming in. We developed our Facebook page. Unfortunately, none of my employees have good Facebook pages, so I can't lend the responsibility of managing my Facebook page to them. So I do that myself. Look, if you're on your phones now, you can check out our page on Facebook. It's called The Merch. Just search in The Merch Fiji. Give us a like and follow us too, okay? We just reached, I think, like 20,000 followers last week. And it's been a journey. I'm not boasting. I'm just saying it is a bloody struggle to get there. And there's heaps of people that come through to the shop now, and I'm very grateful and very blessed to do that. But I'm there full-time. Long story short is the entrepreneurial journey is not an easy journey, but if you have that fire in your belly, I would advise you to jump at it and run with it. That's the only way you're going to be able to succeed or even attempt to succeed if you follow your gut. Yeah? I said follow your gut, not follow your heart. There's a difference. Yeah? So look, I mean, if you're thinking of jumping into it, I'm qualified. I'm a lawyer by profession. And I also, I'm a mediator, actually. So I don't practice in court. I hate going to court. No offense to all your lawyers in the room. I think courtroom action is boring, but anyway. Yeah, and I do my part-time mediations through my consultancy with the Fiji Mediation Center. And I run my business full-time. So that is, in a nutshell, my little story, and that I hope it encourages you if you want to jump into going into a business and setting up a business. And if you need the support system to go through it, that's why we have the Young Entrepreneurs Council, so you can join in and network with like-minded people that are also in the same, they're all business owners as well, and aspiring business owners as well, that can join in on the Young Entrepreneurs Council, because it's a support system. Yeah? And the way to go in this day and age is collaboration. Yeah? Competition is the thing of the past. If people think, my opinion again, don't quote me on this, but you know, competition is the thing of the past. I really feel that is. The way forward this day and age is collaboration. So the more you collaborate with each other and stop seeing each other as competition, the more your business will thrive. What do I know, eh? My business is only 1 year old. So anybody got any questions? And can you just like all go and follow my the merch page? Lol. I mean, come on, yeah? Or maybe the Yak page, because the Yak page only has like 2,000 followers, so follow the Yak page, okay? Just do that. Everybody's on a phone right now at the moment, I can see you guys. And you're on Facebook, so don't lie to me, because that's exactly what I'd be doing if I was sitting in your space as well. So does anybody have any questions? I understand there's some more presentations after this. I'm not going to hog the mic. I usually hog the mic. Any questions at all? No questions. I won't bite. Oh, yeah, here you go. Here we go. So at the beginning of every year, the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation has sent out survey. So then we analyze the needs of its members. So the members dictate what areas of training that their businesses need. So they have a questionnaire, and we formulate a question in terms of what our needs are. So they find out from the members what exactly is the training capacities that your businesses need. So, you know, they collate all that data that they receive back from its members. Then and only, then they start looking for facilitators, or we have accredited trainers within the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation that will then in turn facilitate that training. Yeah? So like I was saying, we have an internal HR council. His name is Nota Finger. He just did a training last week on, what was it? Complaints resolution mechanisms within, so employment grievances and employment disputes, and really how to go about that, incorporating your own internal systems internally within your company, and also how the system is when they engage it externally. So really, it's formulated our training systems, or the trainings that are done by the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation, and also YAC is really from the members' requests in terms of what they lack in terms of capacity building from their own individual operations. Yeah, and if you go to the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation, they've just started building the training calendar for this year. So there's lots and different areas where the Fiji Commerce Employers Federation will be providing training. I'm going to be providing a training next month for mediations. So what to expect with mediations in Fiji. Yeah, does that answer your question? Anybody else got a question? Anybody going to start a business? You want to ask a question? I saw some hands up, but I didn't know where that came from. Stop hiding. We good? No questions from this side? Let's just do one from this side and one from here, and then one from this side. You guys? No pressure. You're the gentleman in the green. We can assist you with that information. Currently, the Young Entrepreneurs Council is developing a toolkit on how, really what the regulatory requirements are in terms of starting a business, where you need to go. Like, first step is registering your business name with the company's office and deciding the structure of your business, if whether it's a limited liability company or sole tradership, and then what you do from there. Reserve the name, register the company, get your business license. And it's a good thing now. I mean, the requirements, I don't know if you saw the Minister of Industry and Trade, Pramila, in her interview a few days ago. The requirements before for getting a business license, and you were allowed to start businesses from home now, which is a good thing. At my time, no. I was just pushing it under the table. You know how it is. But now it's legalized, yeah? No, so changes, I mean, out of all practicality, changes in the system are actually happening. So starting a business, getting your business license, getting your bank account set up, and all those other different requirements that you need to meet. So in short, I can give you my card after this, and you can flick me an email and I will send you a bit of information about how to get the formalities out of the way in terms of how to start your business. Yeah? Just the regulatory requirements. Getting your VAT, your TIN, your FNPF registration, all those things you have to do. Did you know you have to apply also if you're going to play music in your business? There's a Fiji Performance Rights Association license that you need to apply for? Yeah. It's a good thing. It's a good concept because I support the principle, because you've got to, I mean, that's art and that's work, and the people have persevered. That's their own businesses that's making and developing music. And if we're going to play it, we've got to give them what credit is due. You've got to pay for the royalties. So that's another thing in terms of compliance, is the Fiji Performance Rights Association. So if you're going to be playing background music, if you're going to have a live band, especially when it's not their music and they're singing other people's music as well, that's a thing. Yeah? So I'll give you my card. Oh, you got a question? Sure. Lovely. I'm loving this now. No, that's very important. I think in terms of support structures and systems for businesses, it's not only a thing to start up the businesses, but there's always the continuity element about it in terms of continuing your business, where to from here. If you hit a lull, or you think you're just stagnant and there's no growth and you're running out of innovative ideas, because that's the key thing about business, is you've got to be innovative. I mean, the market is tough and challenging. But to answer your question, with this gentleman's question, in terms of starting up your business, we have the toolkit and that information to spread out. But in terms of continuity and development training in that regard, the Fiji Commerce Employees Federation also has training programs, and one of them is just about to start, which is called the Fiji Enterprise Engine. Yeah, Patricia? So it's exactly for that purpose. Yeah. Yes, we do. In terms of collaboration with other institutions like FDB and WISPEC, in terms of the training and development needs of the members of Fiji Commerce Employees Federation, and also with the Young Entrepreneurs Council, is we get them and we invite them to speak to our members. Yeah, so FDB, tomorrow is the Retailers Council, and we've got the Governor of the Reserve Bank coming to talk to us about developments in the economy and where we are and what the status is in terms of our economic progress as a nation. But that's just an example of how we collaborate with other external institutions. We've had FDB come and present their take on how to access business loans, also with Westpac as well. We've got members in that are senior management in Westpac that are part of the councils, Women in Business Council as well. So they always share the initiatives with us, and members have accessibility to those trainings or to those those seminars when they come and talk and when they offer trainings for us, and the members are accessible to that as well. But in terms of needs, assessing the needs, it's usually through the question and the survey that's sent out. And then they, as a business owner and as a member of the Commerce Employees Federation, you indicate what your lack is and where you desire, which area you need to further the development of your business and your employees as well. And then that's sort of reticulated through the system, and then we get the proper people to come in and do trainings or advocacy and awareness in whichever area there may be. I hope that answers your question. Ish, yeah? We'll have a chat after this. No, that is true. It is frightening starting up a business. That's why we've started, and I've actually joined the Young Entrepreneurs Council is really just out of that need. Because when I started my business, there was nobody to help me. Yeah, fine, I have a law degree and I have all these experiences and all of that. But nobody told me that a container would cost, you know, all those little things, yeah? So it's really the social aspects of business is really my driving motivation into joining the Young Entrepreneurs Council, because I don't want others to go through what I went through when I started my own business. And I do relate with that struggle as well. And that's why I said the Young Entrepreneurs Council is relatively young, and we're trying to create this safe system, that safe space really for young entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs to come in and just say, look, I have this business idea and I want to get started. Where do I start? This is where I'm at. And then, you know, we can give you that advice in terms of what you need to do. And again, the action really is on the responsibility of the person as well. Sure. You got a lot of burning questions, do you? Yeah. Young and mature, we love you all. Yeah? So young and mature. Oh, is that why you all were quiet? Because of the word young? Huh? Ah, gotcha. See? There's always this little thing to tweak in the crowd, and I think I got that. Okay, so we still love you. You matured, lovely, older generation people. We do not discriminate at the Fiji Commerce Employees Federation. Listen, look, if you can't join the Young Entrepreneurs Council because of the stupid age restriction, I don't believe it in myself, but unfortunately that's what we're stuck by because of our donor funding. But anyway, don't quote me on that again. There's other councils as well. So there's the Women in Business Council. So if you're women in business, you can join that council as well. If you have a retail business, you can join the Retail Business Council as well. And the same support that I'm saying that we offer at the Young Entrepreneurs Council, they have the same systems and structures with the other councils as well. Yeah? So we're very encompassing. Yeah? Young and matured, aged, whatever is the diplomatically correct word to say. Yeah? Any other questions? This row. Come on, guys. Mr. Chang, we love you.
I seem to have a little bit of a problem in your age barrier. You are calling yourself young, but when you reach 40, you are not young anymore. You are old. So your age barrier should be from 18 to 30 or less. Anyway, that's something you people have to sort out. I want to know whether the YEC have got any preferential treatment at all. Any kind of preferential treatment? Do you know? Yeah.
What's your definition of preferential treatment? From who? Okay. Just to be sure, no preferential treatment, okay? Now, we are, there is The YES scheme, does anybody know, is anybody aware about the YES funding? The YES scheme, yeah? So that's sort of an example of preferential treatment. I wouldn't say it's preferential treatment, but it's specific attention to the needs of a specific group. Do you want to answer? I'm going to pass over to Pat, yeah? She's signaling that I talk too much.
Well, I wouldn't call it preferential treatment, but there are benefits of being a member of the YEC, and a few of them range from like tailored technical support for your business, where any individual member can go to the council and say, hey, I've got this problem, and we actually get in people who specialize in those areas to help you troubleshoot. So that's something you can't get just by walking into a government department or anything. We can actually hook you up with people at the tax office to give you tailored solutions. The other one is with the Fiji Enterprise Engine, which is a pilot scheme that was developed in collaboration with the Australian government and the Market Development Facility, MDF. And what that is like a 3 to 6 month course that takes people who've just started a business and guides them through the whole process of refining your business to take it to the next level. It teaches you strategy, financial management, marketing, human resource management, legal, and all of those things. And usually the fees are around, I think, $3,000 to $6,000 for the entire course, because it's a very specialized course where they bring in experts to run them. But as a member of YEC, you actually get a huge, I think, 50% discount. So that's another benefit. The other one is access to community. So we have closed groups on Facebook and Viber where you actually have owners of small companies that we all know exist around Fiji. And because we're all part of a community, we get mates rates, we get discounts. If you want flyers printed, you don't pay the full price. If you want to get catering or anything done, you just reach out to the community and you get preferential treatment or benefits just because you're a member of the community. I hope that answers your question.
Humphrey, you already know that, eh?
The kind of preferential treatment that my chamber is wanting to do, we haven't yet got it there. You know, when people go to the bank and you want to deposit some money or withdraw some money, you know how long you have to wait in the queue? Sometimes as long as, what, 3/4 of an hour? Not unusual, eh? Not unusual. That's something that the SME wants to tackle and get a preferential treatment for SME members to get to another queue which is designed specifically for SMEs. How's that? Good?
See, this is what I love about Mr. Chang. He's always there, filled with so much good practical examples, you know. There's probably something we can work towards. Who works for the bank? Here. Okay, good. Lucky nobody put their hand up. I was going to put you on the spot. Of course, collaboration. We're always open to collaboration. We can, Mr. Chang, we can. Anybody else got a question? I saw some hands go up somewhere here. Yeah? You shy? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, yeah, this side, last one. These guys? Oh, don't fall to sleep. Am I that boring? Any question from this side? You guys are good? Does he have a question? You have a question? Does he have a question, or is he just one of those? Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'll just hand it there. Thank you very much for bearing with me for the last how many minutes. I hope it was enjoyable and fruitful to meet somebody.
Patricia is going to make just how many minutes presentation, Patricia?
5 minutes only. You
okay,
can time
just 5
me on
minutes
this.
only, and then she's going to post a question on the app for a chance to win this mobile phone. And then don't forget, we have another small presentation that is going to come up. We're just waiting for the person. This is on the Canadian Fund, which closes this Friday, and on crowdfunding. All right, so that's a really promising presentation after this. If you have that idea, crowdfunding is there to assist you, all right? So right now, just want you just to listen again to Patricia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know you must all be feeling very lethargic because I was almost falling asleep, not because of Watson's presentation, but because of the time. So can I just invite all of you to stand up a little bit? just so we can refocus our energy on listening. And just stretch and take like 3 deep breaths. When I say stretch, all the way up. Okay, so take a deep breath in, fill your stomach in. And out. And again in. And out. And this time when you breathe in, like really open up your shoulders, because a lot of times we tend to sit like this. And last one, in. And out. All right, now please take a seat. So my name is Patricia, and in 2016, around the time that YEC was established, I decided to quit my job. I've had many like really amazing jobs, and I set myself many goals, and I said by the time I'm 35, I want to have like a director's position at an institution and have a salary which was like, you know, almost 6 figures. And surprisingly, by the time I was 33, I managed to achieve all of those things. And then you get to a point where you're like, now what? It just didn't feel like my job was satisfying me anymore. And I wanted to do so many things. You know, I wanted to open a cafe. I wanted to have a little clothing boutique. I wanted to, you know, like captain a boat, so many things. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this because a career puts you in a box. It kind of inhibits your ability to dream, you know, and you're like stuck in this, wake up, go to work at 8, have lunch with the same people, do the same thing, get stuck in traffic, go home by 5, cook, eat, sleep, and then you repeat. And then I said to myself, there's got to be more to this life than this. So I took a huge risk, and then I was like, what am I good at? And I'm really good at research, and I'm really good at writing and kind of curating things, making things look good. So I said, oh, well, maybe I should start a consultancy. So that's what I did. So I started a consultancy, and it's been going really well since. And then a couple of years ago, I then registered another business, and that's something that I'm working on currently. And I just wanted to leave with you 5 things that I've learned in the course of the last few years that have helped me kind of not give up and go back into working full time. And these things keep me kind of focused on why I love being an entrepreneur so much. And I'm not going to say I'm a young entrepreneur because I'm 37, and next month I'm going to be 38. I have a 16-year-old daughter, so I'm an old entrepreneur. So 5 things that I would recommend, you know, you keep in the back of your mind. One thing is to stay hungry, like always want. And when I say always want, I don't mean materialistic things. You got to want to learn more. You got to want to know more, to do more, to always think like, what can I do better? So if you're making pastries as a business, you know, it could be just something you do at home and you provide catering services. Think about how you can make it better, you know, like experiment with seasonal fruits, maybe guava and passion fruit. Try things that the market has never had before. And you stay hungry for the responsiveness you get from that. And every day ask yourself, or even at the end of the week, you do a reflection and you say, how did I feed my spirit this week? So I'll share an example of how I'm kind of cultivating that. So just yesterday, I started a new course on getting my boatmaster's license. I want to captain, you know, like small boats. And when I tell people, they're like, gosh, why are you wasting your time? And I'm like, but that's something I want to do. It feeds my soul. So stay hungry. Number 2, say no. Just because you operate a small business doesn't mean you should take everybody's business. You got to learn what your unique proposition is, refine it, and then learn to say no to things that don't add value to your business or your kind of the brand that you're trying to build. And it's okay to say no, because otherwise you'll be saying yes to all sorts of things and you're going to be like losing focus on what your business is all about or what you're trying to work on. And number 3, build your personal brand. And one thing I've learned is I've not had to do any marketing to get any work in the last 3 years. I didn't have to put out a brochure, didn't have to do advertising or anything. It's just because you cultivate through the community of people that you work with your own personal brand. And that sometimes means picking up the phone and, you know, just like talking to people, having that human element behind the work that you do. It means making time to stop and have a chat with people you meet on the street who you might not have seen for a while. Taking your clients out for coffee and engaging on a human level. Or, you know, like Saturdays and Sundays. Work does not really, like personally, I don't think work should restrict you to working 8 to 5 and at the same time on the weekends. You really should put aside your work and engage with people on a human level. And that's how you build your personal brand. Because, for instance, if you wanted to go to the merch, now that you've met Watson, wouldn't you be like, yeah, I know the boss. You know the boss because of the personal brand. Number 4, humility and values. They're so important. You know, just because you've kind of, you know, say, like if you've had your business for 3 years, you're making enough money to survive, that doesn't make you shit, seriously. So you gotta ground yourself and realize that at the end of the day, you're just like everyone else in the sense that you're trying to get by in this life. So there's no reason for you to be mean or to be a shitty human to another person. Everyone has their own challenges, and you need to be able to be humble every now and again. And lastly, have fun. Like, no matter what you do, I think if you're not having fun with it, then there's no point doing it. And like I said, there's more to life than just working 8 to 5 or just putting food on the table. You got to do it with a sense of purpose, and you have to do it with passion. And if I can leave you with one quote before I post the question in the thing, this is one thing that I hold myself accountable with. You can't be good at something that you're not doing. So you can't say that I'm an entrepreneur if you're not doing entrepreneurial things. You can't say, oh, I'm a social media marketer if you're not doing the things that a social media marketer does. So you can't be good at something that you're not doing. So do business, do, you know, like do personal branding, learn. Then you'll only get better at being an entrepreneur. Thank you. Onto this app, okay.
Okay, just get your phones ready.
Okay, so I just posted a question in the forum, and apparently you can win a phone.
I think so, yes.
Man, I hope it's the iPhone 11X Pro, because I can't afford it.
No,
and I really
it's
want
just the
it.
J2 phone.
Okay, so I've just posted a question in the app. So how do you want to do it? Like,
look at the first person.
okay, so if you can just comment on my post, the first person who responds to that. Okay, it looks like, who's the first person? Avanik Prasad. Can you identify yourself? All right, great. Congratulations.
Is that the right answer?
Yes.
All right. Okay, just ask the question again.
Okay, so the question I asked was, what year was the YEC formed?
And then the answer?
And the answer is 2016.
All right, a round of applause, please. Courtesy of Vodafone, one of our sponsors.
All right, any questions before we leave you to the next session?
Just one question, Patricia.
Yep.
Like as you can see here, we have a whole lot of entrepreneurs that that have actually established their businesses. And your organization, the one that you are looking after right now, is the Young Entrepreneurial Council. Is there any age category, to be able to become members in the Entrepreneurial
Well,
Council?
I'm a member of the Young Entrepreneurs Council, and the age is 18 to 40.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just a member at the moment.
Yeah, seeing that you see that a lot of people that are sitting here today are a bit older, probably in their 40s, and there's...
Oh, but there are other councils, like Watson had mentioned. There are many other councils that you can join.
Okay. All right. Anybody would like to ask a question to Patricia before we let her go? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Patricia Malam. Okay, we're just waiting for the presenter to come anytime now, probably in about 2 to 3 minutes. The person that is going to do the presentation today will present on the Canadian Fund for Entrepreneurship, which closes on Friday this week, and that's handled by our Innovation Hub here at USP. We're just waiting for her. She's going to arrive here in about probably 2 or 3 minutes from now. And she will also be doing a presentation on crowdfunding techniques. So if you have a business idea and you have no money, you can actually apply for crowdfunding. So you can see that the person who was dealing with Coco, Mr. Arif Khan, his business was started with crowdfunding. Okay? Yeah, crowdfunding. So that is a big business opportunity for people who have the business concept already. If you have the business idea but you don't have any money, so crowdfunding is the best option for you. So we will just wait for her. Probably you could just sit around probably for about 2 to 3 minutes while we wait for her. That will be our last presentation for the day before we knock off today and then see you back tomorrow. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much, Patricia.
Today we're going to experiment with flares and ropes. My boyfriend has boats, but I get afraid of him to take me outside. So I'm going to get my license now. Where do you keep your boats?
My boats are in Threatre. I'm from Threatre, from I.T.S. Oh, it's true. Thank you.
You better like the mystery.
Business idea kung wala pa.
also the platform techniques for the big program we were talking about. Then she replies and says, I will come with variations in English now, so we can talk about how this is for. We'll also talk about how family purchase and your person is confirmed. And then I said, I did this yesterday, Tuesday. I told her it's confirmed 5:15. It's
Okay, just an announcement. I would just like to inform you that our presenter today is probably not coming in today, so we will just break for today. I understand that the ICT Center is very cold right now. Okay, thank you very much for coming in today, and probably we will have our crowdfunding presentation tomorrow and our Canadian fund, which is due on Friday. Okay, so we cannot afford to wait for them because this place is really cold. So thank you very much for coming in today. We will see you back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. All right, for our presentations. Thank you very much.